Hello? Hello? I feel like I messed up the placement of my freaking mic, so... I might sound too low, but maybe not. I'm not sure. Dude, after thinking about all the work I did today, I'm like, house husband in training, bro. I hope it's good training, brother. Pray for your bride to be, bro. I got some Mexican flavored ruffles and a bag of some chewy fruit sticks. Brother, I want the cheddar cheese or whatever cheddar ruffles. I like those. I hope y'all can hear me though, frick. Hold on. Hello? Can everybody hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah? Okay, good, bro. Thank you. Frick, it's gonna. I don't wanna see the word. I end up glitching some. But yeah, welcome in, bros. Is the music loud? Is it frick loud for me? Hold on. Oh, music is too turned up. Oh no. Okay, sorry, I forgot to turn it down when I started streaming. My bad. Frick my modeling. Wait, let me do calibrate. You said you're excited, bro? I'm alright, you know? Hold on, one more calorie. There you go. One more time. Fit. Okay, sorry. So awesome. Aw, y'all are really excited. I'm glad. I do have... Well, I'm gonna try to keep the story time not too long, but I mean, the whole point of us coming here tonight is to share more about me and not just saying things like, oh, I'm just a random ass bitch on the internet. Just, you know, trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know what word I'm looking for. Not make myself relatable, but just, you know, make it so that way you all have more knowledge about me and I'm not just some anomaly or some But yeah. What's the model? So, okay, never mind. I think I fixed it. Yeah. You're random, be on the end. No. Maybe, bro, would that upset you if I was? If I am? Frick, bro. Sorry. But I did have, I do have all my, whatchamacallit, my personality test pulled up. Each one that I do, I'll put a link in the, almost that description, in the chat. That way, if you want to follow along, or if you also want to take the same quiz as me and we talk about your results, we can do that. Do I like jazz? Yes, bro. It's because my dad he plays the trumpet. He's been playing the trumpet since I was... And ever since I got out of the womb, maybe even before that. Just always doing that, bro. Huh. Is there a bee? What? I had to calibrate again. Frick. You said what? So you're a bee and not a bear? Well, I mean, I am a human. I'm a human, bro. Did you not know? Sorry, I'm trying to freaking move some stuff around. Oh, what? Yeah? Yeah, Mo. Oh, yeah, don't forget your checks, bro. Don't forget to say check. It may or may not work, I'm not sure. I think I mean, think Mans is a B, not gonna lie. That's you. You're new. I think you're new. Welcome in. No, you're not. I've seen you before on Twitter. Welcome in. If you say check, hopefully the check works. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, we're doing our first just chatting stream, and I'll be discussing some Maddie lore. So, my gosh, Rose, can't believe it's working for you now. I used to really hate you, bro. Bro, I don't. Uh-oh. Oh my gosh, you're back for like 1 second. I'm scared already. Frick. Oh my gosh, I hope it chills out, frick. Please not on the day where I'm trying to like make it up to you, bros. That almost made me want to start. Well, I mean, yeah, we can start. Let me see. Oh, Blackbeard, bro. I was driving to the house. Oh. I mean, I hope you didn't get out of your, truck or whatever. It's pretty dangerous, bro. Okay, let me get myself settled. Well, the first part of the story, I'm not gonna need my, my slideshow. Not really a slideshow, but, you know. Seaman, welcome in. Or welcome back. Don't forget to do your check. He said if I can't stay the whole time, I can try another sheet. Ain't too much cream. Aw, it's okay. Don't worry. You can go to sleep if you need to or lie down. No worries, bro. Try and keep an eye on my freaking internet because it's kind of been. Bro, saying you're bored is so rude. I'm not gonna lie. At least when somebody's streaming, it's rude to say that. But anyway, bros, we can. I feel like we can. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! It's doing that lag. I hate that. Why does it do that when I need to like freaking do stuff like this? Thank you, bro. Stressful being a freaking streamer, frick. Only bored because I can't focus? Bro, well, just chill out for a bit, okay? Yeah, spam some hearts or whatever. I'm trying to make sure my internet is somewhat okay to continue. Ugh! I need to hurry this up. Okay, bros, are you ready to start? Because now I feel like I have to rush because it is fricka internet. Ugh. My life, my life sometimes. Ugh. Can't tell I haven't taken my meds? Oh, bro. Might want to do that. That's important. Okay, bro. So, we're gonna start at the very beginning. And I might have to, like, jump cut around because I'm scared that my internet's gonna... You know what I mean? So, we're gonna start with, we're gonna go all the way back. I'm gonna do a lot of ums and sorry. Huh? You know how? Press F4 on your keyboard? What does F4 do for your keyboard? It does too late on the day, bro. Listening to Michael live music. I don't know who that is. Is he cool? Does he do, huh? Don't do it. Bro, you mentioned it and now you're like, don't do it. What does that do? It's a joke? Oh, Michael Jackson. I do know Michael Jackson. Okay. I think my internet has stabilized just a tad. I ate all the Wi-Fi. You're making me stressed, Nemo. Frick. It's been, bro. Bro, my internet. It is kind of freaking up a little bit. It shuts down your program. Oh, well, I'm glad you said that, bro. I didn't know that. Let me move this out of the way. But lucky for you, then I haven't even started yet because I've been scared to start. Because my freaking internet. But yeah. You said Alt F4 will close everything? Or does it fix your internet? I hope so, bro. I hope it continues to stay fixed. But yeah, let's get started. Now I'm all nervous because I feel like the internet is gonna blow up, but whatever. Okay, bro. So, I won't be able to like read chat the entire time because, you know, you gotta get to the story. So, we'll start from the very beginning, bros. When I was in the womb, I was a little, well, we're not gonna go that far, but apparently my mom did talk about, what she was going through when she found out she was pregnant with me or whatever. At first, when she found out she was pregnant with me, she was like, oh, bro. Now, okay, now when I talk about my own story, sometimes I'm silly about it, even if there may be things that are like, oh, bro, that's not funny or not silly. I'm sorry. I'm describing my experience. Alright. But yeah, so at the time when she realized she was pregnant with me, my mom did have a miscarriage. So I was kind of unexpected. But you know, it happens. And basically at the time when she told me this part of my life or whatever, she was basically like, I was like a child at the time, so when she said that, hey, so you were a little unexpected, I was thinking about terminating. I was like, oh, bro. Of course, you know, at the time I was like, my feelings were all tore up. I was like, no way she thought about terminating me. But you know, as a full grown woman now, I get it completely. Because you know, she had a miscarriage. My mom was scared about having another kid. Mind you, she already had my brother and everything. So, you know, she was worried about having another kid. She was going through a lot mentally, I would say. You know, her family was making her life not so great. But my parents were married at this time, by the way, so it's not like they couldn't take care of me, but my mom was just more focused on whether or not she'd be able to love me the way that I needed to be loved, you know? So, I mean, she talked to my dad about it. She was like, yeah, I don't know. And he was like, can we like please keep the baby? And so they decided to keep me, bro, so that was good. And then fast forward 9 months later, on April 23rd is when I came into the world, bro. And then, you know, bro, I want to say at the time I was a good child. I want to say I was. Obviously, bro, I don't remember every single itty-bitty thing about what I did, but for the most part, I was a kid being a kid. Yes, I got in trouble sometimes. Yes, I would, you know, throw tantrums and break toys. Yes, bro, you know? The typical toddler stuff. And so, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, I was born in, mind you, I don't live here no more, so I don't mind talking about where I was born, I mean. But I was born in, state of Louisiana? Specifically, New Orleans. I think, what parish was I born in? I was born in Orleans Parish. Now, you don't know what that is if you've never been there, but it's like split up in a series of parishes, and I was born in the Orleans Parish on the east area. Well, they either call it Orleans Parish or they call it New Orleans East area. Yes, bro. I was born in the South. So, and I still live in the South, actually. So, I mean, it was great. I barely remember because I mean, I was like maybe 7 years old when I had to leave anyway, so I was kind of like born there, but not fully raised there. So, you mentioned it. Yes, bro, I did mention at least once. Say bad words in class at all? I mean, I don't. Did I, bro? Maybe not as like a baby boop bop, but like, I don't really think. I don't really know. I don't recall seeing a lot of bad words because that was like a big no-no in my household. So like that was grounds to get a whooping. So I definitely was not trying to do that in front of anybody and get caught. If at most I'll say it under my breath. I remember doing that if I was really mad or something like that. I would say it under my breath so my parents couldn't hear me. But you know, everybody do that. At least I think so. No, just say like the F word, you know, say words you're not supposed to say. But anyway, bro, so yeah, born in New Orleans, I was born in the South. Well, my mom, she explained it in a different way, but when I was growing up, I was a really like sensitive child, very emotional, very needy, so I always was like clinging to my parents all the time, and as a result, you know, I was kind of shy, you know, a little shy, a little, very shy. I want to say very shy. I don't know. The way her theory is like when she was pregnant with my older brother, she was like, yeah, I was actually very happy during that time. So like when your brother was born, he was a social baby. He was so happy. He let anybody hold him. But when you were born, girl, you was just like really guarded, really crybaby. So, so basically she was like, well, when I had you or when I was carrying you, she said she was going through a lot and just like depressed most of the time. So, and she feels like all of that energy went into me and while I was in the womb. So when I came out, I became very needy and like I needed a lot more of my I needed more emotional support. So my needs needed to be met emotionally more often than my brother. My brother is kind of like, yeah, bro, I'm just chilling, I'm having a good time. But for me, I need to be around my parents. I needed to be held by my parents. I needed to have a lot of quality time with them. Otherwise, it would cause a lot of behavioral issues, or I'll be like really irritable, upset, blah, blah, all that. So, you know, I was definitely called dramatic sometimes. Nima, I could definitely see, yes, bro. It's a little bit different now that I'm an adult, but like at the time, I don't know, bro. And then I have that like that selective mute or whatever, mutism, whatever you want to call it, where I would talk to my family all day, but if I was with somebody I was not familiar with or knew them but I just didn't want to be around them, I would just be selectively mute and wait for my parents to come in and then I'll be happy as a clam. I don't know why I was like that, bro. A little rude, but you know, I'm a baby, okay? But anyway, bro, hold on, I may need some water. Never mind, good. So fast forward, cause I don't remember nothing else. So basically, to make us over that easy. Yes, bro. Listen, some habits die hard, and yes, bro. I could be dramatic. As far as my emotions are not as like, they're not as like explosive as they used to be, like crying so loud and But anyway, oh yeah, I forgot, bro. So like basically, oh yeah, I keep y'all making me forget things. So at the time, and I actually have a picture of what my actual house looked like. But we were not like in a like upper middle class family. We were kind of like teetering between like lower and middle. Like it wasn't like, you know, we had money to buy what we needed, not so much what we wanted. Like I always had a hot meal every night. Sometimes breakfast. I would also have some nice clothes, because you know we had to go to church on Sundays, and so you know I still was able to go to school, and by school I mean preschool, because you know I was a baby. I think I went to yes, I did go to first grade too during this time. And I went to a Catholic school, by the way, so your girl was raised Catholic, and I don't want anybody to jump out their skin. It's okay. It's a safe place here, you know? But yeah, I was raised Catholic. I went to private school is what they call it. And we wore uniforms. I would always be very particular about my uniform. Because they had like an option for a dress, and then they had an option for pants. And when I tell you, me and my mom fought over these freaking outfits every time, bro, I had to keep wearing my dress. I mean, I used to make my mom watch that every night, bro. I need my dress. Like, hi, Alia, welcome in. We're doing our long story time. Yeah, I kind of go that way too until I spend like second half of my childhood. Tebow. The breakfast, what is this you speak of? Yeah, bro. Especially at school, you always get some kind of breakfast, so they serve breakfast and stuff. I remember that. If you get there early enough, of course. Nice. Bro, I was a little bit of a brat. No shade to my baby self. What else? What were we talking about? Oh yeah, we were talking about going to school. Yeah, the uniform too, bro. I love the uniforms. I actually like wearing a uniform. It means I don't really gotta think about what I need to wear. But you know, at the time, it was pretty much standard. If you're going to a Catholic school, you always had a uniform. You had to wear specific shoes. You had to have your hair done in a certain way. It was just that type of school. And my school was like super like diverse. I mean, you had kids from all over, different backgrounds, different races, like literally just everybody. You can get anybody in any class. It was so nice too. It was just, I met a lot of good people. You never had to wear a uniform, bro? Not even like for PE or whatever? Or like, you know what I mean? I don't know, what does PE stand for, y'all? You know what I mean? Gym, basically. I wish I went to private school, probably would have been a lot better. I mean, yeah. I did go to public at some point, but I'll get to that, I think, if I remember. We had to wear uniform either. Skirt sucked. It wasn't private, but we had to wear a classy uniform, or we'd be sent to the principal office in uniform for PE. Frick, bro. I remember that. At least more so I remember that in high school, because I was still wearing a uniform. Oh, I didn't have a uniform at times. Right, I didn't have one either. Well, when I went to public school, I stopped wearing uniforms. Well, not stopped, they didn't make us do that. But yeah, what was I talking about again? Frick! I was talking about, oh yeah, school and being Catholic and being raised Catholic. So, definitely, in this school, I would say that there were some, former nuns at the school, and like I said, this was like a different time, so, you know, spanking your children and things like that were kind of, I want to say, normal. And by spanking, I mean a whole whooping, bro. Get a whole object, and yeah. So, you know, the school also had, like, former nuns. And I remember one of my teachers was a former nun. I think the craziest thing I had ever seen her do was, we were all in class, and mind you, also at the time you had to like have permission. You have to give them permission to basically beat your kid if they acting up. My parents didn't allow other people to do that, but they just like call us if things were going crazy. So typically I try to stay out of trouble, but this one time we were all in class, and I remember we had a class bully too. Like, oh my frick, it's so lame. But anyway, I remember she was like doing her little lecture, and he just started, you know, goofing off in class, and she got so, well, she's been angry before. Like, that's nothing new. She's always like yelling, no shade. But she was just really irritated this day. And when I tell you, she like ran over there. Mind you, she's a short lady, and this is like a really tall kid. Like, he was the tallest person in the class, I think. And she told him to get up. And I remember we also had a statue of Mary in the room. Always, there's always a statue of some saint or anything. And I remember she had hit him, and then she told him to get on his knees and pray. And so then she was like, you need to pray aloud. So bro was just praying out loud on his knees over and over and over, bro. It was crazy. I mean, when I tell you, everybody was dead silent while this was happening. You could hear a little pin drop, bro. And so then he started crying, and then she told him to go to the principal's office. It was crazy. It was wild, but they were really serious sometimes. It was stuff like that where I was just like, good lord, kinda glad they don't be hitting me around here, but still, can't imagine that at school though. I know. It's definitely not something that happens now, I don't think. Not to my knowledge. There could be a place where, you know, a skinny stick, that was it. Oh yeah, I do remember that. I don't think, at least with my family, it was never a stick, bro. It was a whole belt. It was wild. But you know, I don't really support beating your children with objects and things like that. It's very, I don't know, it's giving very barbaric, giving very weird, giving very abusive. And if I had children, I would never pass that on to them. Because that type of stuff can make you scared of your parents. So, I'm good, bro. I'm not gonna carry that trauma onto them. But, yeah, so that was school life. I don't remember my last day at school. I don't remember that before everything happened. I do remember... Did we get a dog? We did get a dog, bro. We got this, what's it called? A Shih Tzu Terry? The little small dogs, a little... I can't really describe it, but you know those dogs that look really scruffy and like their hair is kind of long a little? That wasn't my first dog, but it's the first dog that I kind of remember as a kid, and like, we called him Sammy. We had got it from the neighbor's house. Basically, what happened that day? They basically said that they had like a bunch of puppies and they were trying to get rid of them all, and my family was like, or my parents were like, well, you know, I guess we could, you know, get a puppy. So when we got there, bro, there was like, I don't know how many puppies, but there was like 10 puppies in there. There were so many puppies. And I mean, they also had like, I mean, really small ones. I mean, I don't know how many, I don't know what was going on. I don't know how their dog got pregnant and whatever, but it was a lot going on. So we did end up picking one little puppy, and of course my dad wanted the puppy that was fighting with all his other freaking siblings. So that dog was freaking something else. I love that dog so much. It's, you know, passed on now, but oh my frick, that dog was, I want to say that dog was like good sometimes, but like bad about 80% of the time usually. Oh my lord, everybody else has these other, wait, green, yellow card. I do remember that, but not for the first school I went to though. We used to have, my school gave weapons, and we had a chart with the, if we did something bad, we had to, bro. Well, when I had the red card, green card, it was more so like, oh, this is when I went to a different school that didn't beat you and stuff. They were basically like, you know, you'll lose recess if you, you know, get your red card pulled. But it was never anything that serious though, you know? Well, I mean, losing recess is pretty serious though, I'm not gonna lie. At session I have, so like me and my classmates were in chem class in high school, but he was Asian, black, and then Hispanic, and then we pointed la chancla spoon. What's this? Isn't chancla like a flip flop? Is that what that is? And you say your school doesn't give whooping? Oh, it did. Oh, my bad. I didn't read that. Alright. And he said my school also had a chart like that in elementary school. Only been on red once? Oh, bro. You're lucky, bro. I definitely hit red a few times. Just for talking. You know, having too good of a time. When teacher says, hey, be quiet, you need to be quiet. But yeah, what else? Where were we? Oh, yes. So, don't remember my last day of school. But I was like, well, that's because we had to leave. I don't know if some of y'all might not have been even like born at this time yet. I'm sure a lot of y'all probably were, but like were babies, you know what I'm saying? But I was, what, 7 years old when I had to leave my home and everything because of Hurricane Katrina. I don't know if anybody remembers that. I doubt it. I had to research everything. This was like my first time researching everything about Hurricane Katrina. I learned so much. But like, yeah, what I do, I'm gonna recall some of the events. I do have some, like, I found this graphic of it or whatever, and I'll show you just, you know, some, not anything crazy, okay? I'm not gonna show y'all, you know, dead people, but nice therapy to me. Yeah, bro, good. I'm glad. I hope I'm not talking too fast, but I'm, you know, trying to keep the pace. If I was affected by Katrina, if I remember the powers, oh, frick a month. Wow. We're gonna talk about my experience with Katrina. My bad, I had to readjust. But, so basically, what happened the night before? So, we had our puppy and everything, right? And then, I remember very clearly the night before, I had woke up, like, out of nowhere. I woke up in the middle of my sleep. And I remember I went down, oh, mind you, my house at the time was like a one-story house. They call it ranch style. So if you don't know what ranch style means, it's like an open layout. And it's one story. There's no second floor or anything like that. I do recall getting up in the middle of the night. I went down our hallway or whatever to where our living room was. And I remember it was dark. It was really dark in the house. Cause what? But I knew that the TV was on. At least I heard it a little bit. So I like peeked around the corner, and it was my dad. He was watching the Weather Channel, bro. You know how they have all those like crazy colors and all that stuff? Yeah, bro. He was watching the news or the Weather Channel. And so I remember I didn't want to get caught or get in trouble because, you know, my mom she'd be very adamant about bedtime. So I was like, let me go back to my room quietly. So I was like tiptoeing back to my room. And then I got in the bed. And I remember, I feel like, you know, I went back to sleep a little bit. And then I woke up maybe like, I don't know, maybe like 2 hours. It felt like I went to sleep, closed my eyes for 2 seconds, and then woke back up and it was morning. And I remember it was early in the morning, but the sun was out. And my mom had came in my room, and she was like, she was really calm. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but she had this like calm tone in her voice, but she was really direct about what she was trying to get me to do. So when I woke up, she had helped me put my clothes on, my shoes on. I'm 7 years old, so you know, I could do it myself, but you know, my mom she does that. And then I remember she told me to put all of my favorite items in my drawer. Like, I had this really nice what's it called, dresser drawer or whatever. I don't know how to say the word, but like it has this big mirror on it. It was really pretty. and then like this really big dresser. So I put all my video games there because at the time I had my GameCube. My GameCube games. What else? I had Barbies. I had lots of toys. What else I had? I think that's all I really had. And so I put all that in there because of course my video games were very important to me. And then I put my dolls in my closet. And then she told me to get one book. And I was like, okay. Mind you, I don't know what's going on. I'm just kind of, you know. And I got it was like a Where's Waldo book, but like Finding Nemo themed. And I still have that book actually. It's in the basement. I don't want to go down there because I don't like going in basements. But anyway, bro, she told me to take one book, and before I knew it, we were heading outside. She closed the door. That was like the last time I saw my house for like a decade. Like it was really like very swift. We just like left. We didn't pack anything besides like undergarments, what we can basically carry very easily. But other than that, we didn't bring extra clothes. We didn't bring any type of furniture. Obviously my parents bought their wallets and all that, but like everything else stayed in the house. And I know some people are gonna be like, what the hell? But yes, the dog was in the house at the time. The dog was saved. Okay, don't let anybody to freak out and think that we left our dog. But originally, yes, that dog was being left. But luckily, my uncles were there at the time and they were able to take care of our dog while we were leaving. And that's when this happened. Bro, I'm sorry, little baby boop bop, I'm sorry. But, what else happened? Oh yeah. Dang, bro. Making me feel old up in here. But yeah, so we got in the car, and I remember it being really, really hot, because you have to understand that when Katrina happened, it was like very late summer. This was like August, maybe 29th, or, you know, and we were leaving between the days leading up to it. And at the time, the weather was fine. So it was really sunny. It was bright and sunny actually. And it was just really like, you know, it was hot. It was just really hot. I don't know how to explain it. When you have like New Orleans heat down there, it feels like you could probably like crack an egg on the back of your neck and it'll probably cook. That's how hot it was at the time. I know, bro, we did abandon the dog. My parents did leave the dog behind. Thank God. I'll get to that part of the story. But what else happened? So we get in the car, and well, first of all, I'm excited. I was very excited because when I asked my mom where are we going, she basically said it was a surprise. And I was super excited. So I thought, you know, Disneyland, even though I'd never been there before, but I heard about it. I was thinking we were going on vacation, whatever. I was not thinking about why I didn't have any like extra clothes with me. I wasn't thinking like that. So we got in the car, and I remember my older brother, he was just, for the first time in a long time, bro was just silent. Like, he was silent, and I was asking bro a bunch of questions, and he was just ignoring the frick out of me. He really was like not in a mean way, but now that I'm older, I understood that he was told about what was about to happen first before I was. So at the time when he was ignoring me, it did hurt my feelings a little bit, but I also was like, okay, well, maybe it's a super fun surprise that I'm not supposed to know about. And so we start driving, and mind you, you know, this is kind of like off the cuff. Like, we're not, you know, there were warnings before to leave. We did not leave for the first warning or whatever. So like, you know, there wasn't a lot of traffic by the time we got out. It was very quiet actually. So in the car, we're driving, and I'm just like, so everybody's really quiet. So I'm just like, bro, do you know where we're going, bro? Where are we going? Are we there yet? Blah, blah, blah. I'm asking my mom like 20 questions. My mom is just like, you know, she's entertaining it. And I think about maybe like the 50th question. I remember she was so irritated. I don't blame her. Okay? I don't blame her. I'm not mad at it. But she turned around and she was like, I don't know. And like she snapped at me so loud. It was not crazy, but it was just like, oh, bro. Hurt my little heart. And I was like, my dad was super quiet. He was still driving. And she was like, I don't know where we're going. Stop asking questions. So I sat down in my seat or whatever. And I think this is the first time I got scared. Like, not of my mom. She's done that before. She's snapped on me before. Though, you know, when I'm being annoying. But like, that was the first time where I was worried a little. Because I was like, well, what do you mean you don't know where we're going? The frick? Aren't we going back home after this? Like, what are we doing? But, you know, we didn't go back home actually. So, this is where like the series of events gets like confusing. I don't know like where it all, like what came first, what came after, or whatever. But like I do remember we stopped by, I want to say it was my godmother's nursing home. So like she didn't have her own house. She lived in a nursing home. And I do remember we were going there to rest. I do remember that. And this nursing home was so eerily quiet. Like, yes, old people aren't loud, but it was just so quiet. You couldn't hear anything. Mind you, there was no power at the time. So, oh my gosh, it's Kroby! Welcome in! I'm glad you're able to make it. We're talking about Hurricane Katrina and my origin story. But yeah, there was no power at this time, like, and that's why I feel like, we were leaving late, kind of. Like, we were able to make it out right before the storm hit, but the power was also out at this time in certain areas. In this area specifically, the power was out. And you could tell, like, as we were driving, like, the clouds were getting darker and darker, and, like, the wind was getting extremely strong, like, scarily strong, right? And so, we make it into the nursing home. And, bro, first of all, it smelled like straight chemicals in there. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but, like, when you have a really strong cleaning agent or whatever, and, like, let's say you're, like, cleaning up the bathroom, and like you close the door, that's the kind of intense smell it was. Like, it was super intense. And it like burned my nostrils. That's how much it was like super clean in there, but also like, you know, eerily quiet. So we greeted my grandmother and she was like, oh, I'm happy to see you. I'm glad everything's okay, blah, blah, blah. My godmother did stay. So, no power. There was also another girl there, another little girl there. I don't know who this little girl was. I don't recall. She could have been a cousin. I don't know. Or a random girl that my godmother was watching over. You never know. She was just that type of person, it seems like. And so, went into the little room, and her little, like, they're like rooms. They have kitchens. And then they have a living room and then one bedroom. And so I remember we all were like piled into the living room. And of course no TV or anything like that, but she had this really big window. It was like 3 big windows. And I remember she had like tape on the windows. Because like when you would hear the wind blow through, it would crack the window. You'll start hearing it like crack and chisel and whatnot. That was really scary, I'm not gonna lie. It was so scary. So we couldn't sit near the windows. We had to sit like in the kind of the kitchen area or whatever. Just in case they shattered or whatever, because I mean that tape was just duct tape. It wasn't gonna hold, right? So, you know, we're talking. Mind you, she had some canned food, but it was just basically Vienna sausages and Reese's Pieces, bro. And like because of this whole event or whatever, I cannot eat Reese's Pieces. I can still eat like a Reese's like buttercup or the cup or whatever, but I refuse to eat Reese's Pieces. I've eaten Vienna sausages after a long time, but like it took me a while to even like get to that point. I couldn't eat it, bro. It was too depressing in there, just eating that all day and no TV and no nothing. But we did have our radio. Mind you, at the time there was no smartphone. Like there is a smartphone, but like it was like a flip phone, but no Apple phone or whatever, where you can just search up the freaking weather channel wherever you are. We had a radio. So like it was like a hand crank radio. So you would crank the handle and then you would pull up the antenna, find your station, and listen to the weatherman. That's pretty much what we did the entire time. Every time we moved to an area, we'd pull out the hand crank radio and figure out what we need to do next. And basically most of the time they were just basically saying get out. Like, you need to leave right now. Get out of there now. Crazy to think I've lived in a time without phones or smart, but yeah, it was like we had those flip phones, but we also had these. I think I had like I don't even know if my parents had like a flip phone. Maybe they did, but I do know that we had a house phone. So if you're not familiar with what a house phone is, like a landline. Basically, you can have a number separately that calls your house. So, and you also have like answering machines. Instead of calling somebody's cell phone, you can call their house and somebody could be at the house and answer the call. But of course, if nobody was there, then they would call your cell phone. But I love me a good landline, bro. I kind of want to get one day. Like, what? That'd be so cute. I don't know. I think it's cute. My mom had a BlackBerry phone. With a brick breaker name on it, bro. I don't think my parents even had that. It was 2005, bro. You make it sound like, well, I mean, but everything is just so accessible now. At the time, there really wasn't much around. Like, even though it was like 2005, I mean, technology wasn't that advanced, I'm not gonna lie. Which is why you had to rely on the radio. That and, you know, the power's out. I mean, I can only imagine what would actually happen if we had another major storm and everybody's trying to rely on these smartphones and you just need a radio. Man, today our toddlers have phones makes me feel old. Yeah, it does, bro. I was shocked when I saw, I think I was in middle school and I saw this little elementary student had her own smartphone, bro. I was like, bro, do you understand I had to fight for my first phone? Like, what, bro? It really wasn't a thing. I know what a house phone is. I remember yes, bro. But yeah, that's why I talk about it like that, because I grew up during a time where social media was not what it was. I got to go to school and actually be a child without much influence. No shade. no shade. I think the most influence you would see is from actual celebrities. And you would get celebrity gossip from the magazines, from TV, from newspapers. It wasn't just readily available on a smartphone for you to look at all day and scroll. You know, kids actually went outside to play. You know, so that's why I talk about it like that. Because it definitely wasn't a long time ago, but it was definitely a different time. Does that make sense? But, you know, anyway, we have a radio. We're in my godmother's nursing home room or whatever. I remember we spent our first night there. I had to sleep in my godmother's room and bruh, I could not get any sleep. I think I was just so worried. Like the entire time I was just like, I don't know what's happening. Why isn't nobody talking? Like, bro, I need some water. I've been talking a lot. Give me a second, let me get my water. Pause. He said, the only reason I got a phone was because my mom was away and she needed me to have the ability to call her just in case. Yeah, that's what I told my mom whenever, I finally reached that age to have a phone. I think that was what? Middle school? Like, it was really hard, and I wasn't allowed to have like an iPhone, but I was able to have like a sidekick, which was still a smartphone, but you can it was like touch screen, and then you can also flip up the screen and have a keyboard. It was so cool. I loved it so much. But I did break it on accident. And then she was like, I'm not getting you another one, frick. But yeah, she thought about giving me a flip phone, but I cried, bro. I didn't want that. I wanted what everybody else was having. But yeah, where was I? I didn't get my first phone until I was 16, I think, and it was a slide-up phone. Exactly. Everybody had these slide-up phones. Like using thumb phone and typing on it. I like repeat, press to type. Oh, bro, I remember that too. Ugh. I mean, some parts I really like about it, especially when you flip it up and it's a keyboard. It's so freaking cute. Like, I literally was giving everybody my number at school just so I can just text people random. But anywho, anyway, godmother, she was snoring a lot during that time, so it was really hard to sleep. And not only that, I was like staring at the ceiling, just really thinking about, trying to wrap my head around what was happening. Before I knew it, my mom came in her room and it was time to leave already. Like, she would always come and get me at like super early in the morning. So we got up, and mind you, it was really early, so like it was still a bit dark out. And we went outside. It was starting to rain, but not too much. It was raining enough though. And then those strong winds started coming through, and it was kind of scary, not gonna lie. And then I think this is the first time I saw like a panic attack, like in real time. We were trying to get to the car quickly because it was raining, and my brother, he was behind me and my mom. He was behind us. My dad was in front of us trying to get to the car. And when I tell you, he froze in his tracks and started having a full-blown panic attack. And like hyperventilating, crying. He was on the ground, like he really could not get a hold of himself, which, I mean, he knew way more than I did. I was still trying to figure out what is going on, bro. But he knew what was going on, and it was already affecting him. Mine came in later, I started having my moments, but not panic attacks, just affected differently, I guess. So after that, my mom was able to console him, get him to calm down, took him to the car, asked him if he was okay. He just never spoke to me during that time. He was just really going through a lot, and I'm sure bro was in his brain like I was, I was very much in my head and trying to figure out, I don't know. I'm just glad they were all safe. That's the only thing I could really hang on to at the time. So anyway, we started driving, and then I did ask my parents. I was like, are we ever gonna go back home? And my mom finally was like, no, we need to leave, and we need to get to a safe place because the storm is coming and whatnot, and just be patient or whatever. And then I started asking about the dog. Right after she was like, yeah, we're not going home, I was like, but what about the dog though? And so when I tell you, I started, wailing in that car about this dang dog. She was like, my mom was so irritated. I know how she was feeling because she's only worried about, us. And then now we gotta worry about this dog that I keep hollering about. So I remember, I think she did have a flip phone. She may have had a phone and been able to, somehow my uncles were able to know to go to her house. I'm pretty sure she was able to call. But they went to our house before the storm hit, they grabbed the dog and brought it over to their house. And so then we went to go visit their house to go see this dog because I was crying about this dog. And so we would go to see the dog. Mind you, at this time, the weather in the area that they were at, it was flooding. It was raining really hard and it was starting to flood a little. So, and the winds were crazy. We went inside. I saw the dog. I was like, thank the Lord. I was so happy that the dog was safe. But like, I know my mom is like, anything for my child, but you pissing me off. So, you know, I hugged my dog, gave him some kisses or whatever. You know, we were just chatting with my uncles. And these are my uncles on my mom's side. So we're chatting it up. My mom was asking them, you know, are you gonna leave? Are you leaving? And they were like, no, they did not leave. And they're okay today. Don't worry about her. They're not, you know, they haven't passed on. They did survive the storm, which is great. But there were a lot of people that chose to stay. There were a lot of people that chose to go to safe areas. Because mind you, know, the whole city wasn't flooded, but a large portion of it was, okay? I didn't realize how bad it was. I was just a kid and all we know was rival. When I researched it, I was like, yeah, so this was actually pretty bad. And really bad. I'm not even all jokes aside, no exaggeration, extremely bad. So after we asked them about if they're leaving or not, they said no, we're gonna stay. My mom was really worried about that because it was gonna get really bad. But you know, she wanted to actually stay with them at some point. Like she really like loves her brothers a lot. She loves all of us, but she was just so, she was willing to stay with them and let dad take me and my brother to a safe location. But that didn't happen. We went to yes, okay bro, I know. Yeah, it's spelled with a K. But I didn't want to like correct you. I was like, it's fine. I know what you mean. But yeah, so after we left, we said our goodbyes. They said, you know, we'll call you if everything is good, and you know, just let us know if you get settled wherever you're at. We gave them hugs and all that because we couldn't spend the night there. The flooding was getting too much, so we went back in the car. Then we, you know, I can't even really remember this part. It's so like blurry, but I do remember we were just driving for a long time. And I remember we had passed like hotels, and yes, at this time they were putting like signs up with no vacancy because it was actually full. There were people who were trying to leave, who had already settled there. And this is also another reason why people couldn't take their pets, because they were going to places where they wouldn't be able to have their pets. You know, hotels. Maybe you could have at a motel or like an inn or whatever, but like a lot of the closest places were not accepting of all that. And mind you, this isn't just like a couple people trying to leave. These are like thousands of people trying to leave an area. Okay? So I know a lot of people made a lot of sacrifices. Would I abandon my dog? I would try everything in my power not to abandon my dog if I was in that situation and I had to leave myself. But if I had children, well, I would have to see what I could do. If I can give it to a relative or a neighbor, I would. So it was understood that sacrifices were gonna be made, right? So we're driving. We're still driving. I'm talking hours of driving. So I'm like going to sleep in the car, waking up, it's nighttime. I'm going to sleep in the car again, it's morning time. I'm going to sleep or passing a random area. Mind you, at this time, we still didn't know where we were going. Just needed to get out of the state. We did manage to make it out of the state, and literally right when we made it to a place where we can get to an ATM, that's when the car broke down. I mean, completely shut off. I was like, I mean, good thing we're in a safe place, but like, what we gonna do without a car, bro? The frick? So anyway, we're at the ATM place. Where there's like a little ATM beside a bank. It's daytime. And I remember this man, I don't know how he knew that we were like in trouble or whatever. Mind you, Katrina is all over the news at this point. But like, I don't think anybody was actively trying to figure out who was suffering or not. But this really nice man, he had parked like behind us. And mind you, pulling money down also was an issue. So, you know, my parents were trying to get some money so they can go to a dealership and try and make something work. Okay. But this nice man was like, you know, I'll tow your car to wherever you need to, blah, blah, blah. He was trying to figure out what was going on. Mind you, I was scared. I was just scared. At this point, I couldn't, like, I was so afraid of just everything and, like, losing my family. I was scared of this random man, but he was really helpful. He was talking to my dad, and he was like, I'll take your truck anywhere or whatever. Just let me know. And then he had towed us to a dealership, bro. And when I tell you we were at this dealership from the afternoon to nighttime, yeah, bro. I remember when we got there, mind you, still summer, so it was pretty hot. Haven't been able to change clothes for I don't know how long. And so we get there, first thing, that nice cool AC was on. Thank the Lord. It was so nice and cool in there. You had all these people in there in like their business suits, you know, they're trying to sell cars. And like it was a really big dealership. Might have been Toyota, who knows? Probably. So we get there, and my parents literally like had to explain the entire situation. This man was like, thankfully, we met a man who was very generous. And everybody else was just like, mind you, you know, there was not a lot of customers at the time. It was kind of just us and some couple people. And everybody was just staring at us. It was so weird. A little unnerving. So like I was like, bro, you know, go enjoy your nap, bro. But yeah, they were staring at all of us, but they had like these very sorrowful looks on their faces. Like it was a lot going on. And I remember they asked my parents, they're like, you know, have you eaten or anything like that? And my parents were like, no. It had been like, I want to say, we didn't really get to eat a lot because mind you, we were just driving. So there was like, you know, we didn't even take any food or supplies or anything like that. So if we stopped at a place, we had a little bit of money to afford something to eat. But a lot of the times we were driving for hours without anything to eat. And by hours, it turned to days. And, you know, so at that time, I was extremely hungry. And so they were like, oh, well, you know, we have some leftover Chick-fil-A, you know, can we at least feed your children? And, you know, my parents were like, of course, you know, and they were like, we can also get you something to eat, blah, blah, blah. So they ordered my parents something to eat. They took us to a little break room in the back. And, when she brought out that food, bruh. I literally, when I tell you I was scarfing down all of that food, and that lady was trying to talk to me, I had completely ignored her. Like, it's almost like she was not there. And I didn't even say thank you, you know? I was raised to say thank you and please and blah, blah, blah. I was so hungry at the time. I couldn't hear nothing other than my chewing. So after my brother and I ate, she still, you know, was hanging around and was just watching us, and she did put something on the TV. I don't remember what she put on the TV though. It was probably some cartoon or whatever. And just, you know, saying how much, you know, she feels sorry for us and blah, blah, blah. Mind you, I'm a child, so it's going in one ear, not the other. I don't. Where's my parents? So I went to go get my mom, and I was like, oh, you know, this process took forever. So we went to the break room, and I went to sleep in the break room. And then we finally got our, what is it called, a quest, a van, whatever. There to find people that I know. We found a lot of generous people at the time, not gonna lie. It's kinda lucky, to be honest. But when we finally got our car, they did, I think they had like a different payment plan than they usually would give. Obviously, I don't know the ins and outs because I was 7 years old at the time. And, they basically were like, oh, just when you get settled, then we could talk about payments or whatever. Did you get an RV? No, it was a Quest. It was just a little van. It was just a little van. And, I think it had like 4 seats, something like that, and a lot of trunk space. And it had an automatic door that opened on my side. That was so cool to me at the time. And, so after that, we drove out of the lot and we parked somewhere and we slept in the car. Because like I said, we didn't have a house yet. So we slept in the car. And then my parents were like looking for options in the area to at least get someplace to call home. Mind you, using up all the savings with this one. And then we did have, I think, well, some of my mom's family was in the state that we went to. And I believe it was her sister and it was her mom. But mind you, my mom comes from a very dysfunctional family, so she was a little apprehensive to let them know. But it was an option, but my parents were able to, I don't know how they met these people actually. I just know that one day we started talking to this couple or whatever, married couple, and they had this home or whatever that they were trying to rent out, and my parents spoke with them, and well, they had to tell them everything that happened, and they were generous enough to allow us to stay, and they would pay for the rent until my parents got new jobs. Because mind you, when we left, my parents didn't have jobs anymore, there was no option right now. So they let us live there for some time, and then once my parents got settled and finally got jobs, that's when we started paying rent and whatnot. And they didn't make us do a back pay or whatever. They said, don't worry about it. When you start your job, then you can just start paying rent. We'll cover the rest of the, months that were missed. And they were super nice, super lovely people. And what else? Oh yeah, and then we started going to church, and bro, when you start going to church, everybody becomes so nice. And so, they heard about what was going on, and they started donating things, and, they had donated, I remember, this is like way in the future, it was like during Christmas time. They had donated, so many things to us. They donated clothes, they donated toys, gaming systems. This is when I got my DS. It was crazy, it was really nice actually. Yes, God bless them, because it was just, we didn't expect all of that from people who didn't even know us, but just understood that the situation was dire. But like I said, this whole thing was on the news by now. They did give me games, bro. It's crazy. I got to basically, they were like, they knew what was going on. They're like, okay, well, just have your kids, write out a wish list, and we'll see if we can get some of those things. When I tell you they got us those things and more, it was actually one of the best Christmas. I've never had any Christmas top that Christmas. But anyway, go backwards. So then, I started school. Thankfully, I did go to a private school, which was much different. This school wasn't as diverse, it was predominantly white. So I didn't see people that looked like me all the time. But everyone was very nice. I think I got put into a good class. A lot of kids were very curious about me because they were told about my situation before I got there. I know that because it literally happened when I was there for a while. They told us another kid was coming in, but with a different situation, and they would always sit all the kids down and tell us, what's going on, and you need to be nice and blah blah blah. That was so nice to have a debrief and not have a new kid to come in and everybody be like, who the frick is that? Like, what? Ew! But no, it helped kids try and help them belong, you know? So they did that for me. And I was super nervous going into school. This is the 2nd grade. So mind you, I didn't start at the beginning of the school year, so I was behind. So I had to take some special classes to help catch me up, and reading was one of them, bro. Oh, frick. That was a lot. Then I had to take another math class. Oh, bro. Anyway, that was a lot on me, at least. And I remember just being... It was difficult trying to reacclimate myself to a regular schedule. I would have trouble staying awake at school at normal hours because I was so used to like sleeping at different hours. So whenever I would get sleepy, my teacher at the time, her name is Miss Kelly, bro. She's the best. I don't know if she's still alive now. It's such a long time ago. But whenever I would get really sleepy, she would let me sleep on the fire escape. If you're not familiar what a fire escape, at least back then was, it was like this big block with some stairs on it that lead to like a little window or whatever. So if there was a fire, you can go up the staircase, the children can, and get out the window. So she would let me sleep on there. She'd give me a blanket, a pillow, and while everybody would be out either at lunch or recess, she would let me sleep. I mean, sometimes she would let me sleep the entire day because I just couldn't like stay awake at the time. And then, bro, everybody was really nice, but I was just really shy. And I had a lot of anxiety. And I also had a lot of that separation anxiety. So, you know, I would cry a lot. And I remember, bro, when it was time to eat lunch. And my first time in the lunchroom. I freaking remember going into the lunchroom with my class. And then everybody was like getting their food and like everybody knew the routine, but I was still kind of new to the routine. And basically what happened was I was like standing in the middle of the room and I had like threw up on myself, bro. It was too much. It was too much. It was way too much on my body, my mind. It was so many new smells. It was loud in there. It was overwhelming, overstimulating. I had threw up because I was scared. And so I remember Miss Kelly came to come pick me up. She cleaned me up and then put me back on that fire escape. I took a long nap. I was doing great though, you know. I wake back up, get back to class. She would catch me up on stuff. I would have one-on-one time with her so I can learn better. And it was difficult, frick. Being behind in school and stuff like that, where everybody's like so far ahead can be really discouraging sometimes. Like, oh, bro, am I dumb? Maybe. I don't know, bro. But I also forgot that I wanted to share the aftermath of everything and also what happened in my friggin' house. So, before we get too far. Oh no, bro. It's bro. Listen, I'm about to get into what happened in my house during Hurricane Katrina. I found this really cool graphic, by the way. Hold on 1 second, let me try to find it. Thank you for the hearts, bro. Oh, bro, not that picture. Oh, bro, not this one. Yeah, this one. Alright, hold on, bear on me. Hold on. I had to really set this up. I'd be scared. My big head. Shut up, bro. Nah. Don't call me big head. Hold on. Okay. Well, I need to position myself. But this cool graphic is online. Like, when I was doing, like, so much research. I'm talking crazy research. And, of course, you know. Yeah, bro, come on, bro. I was taken out of school in the 3rd grade, and once I was 14, I was put back in 9th grade. Whoa, bro. I pretty much struggled my way through at least the first couple, you know, years or whatever. My bad, bro. A little slow. It's okay. It's okay. Hi, bro. So I was doing research or whatever on Hurricane Katrina. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. And so, you know, mind you, I was born in New Orleans East area. So I was born in this area. Maybe not born in it, but you know, that's where my house was at. And so I'm not gonna read all of it. We're just gonna be showing the parts that did that. And to get boo, what's this, bro? It's a graphic of what happened during the Hurricane Katrina. Dude, 14-year-old me was flabbergasted that letters were in that. I know, right? That was really difficult for me to like where is my never mind, bro. Hold on, let's see. I was gonna take a swig of water, but anyway. So a little lesson. So yes, Hurricane Katrina was a lot, bro. But also it became even worse when the levee system broke, basically. So what's a levee system? Let me try to remember. It's basically a system that's supposed to help control, maybe contain water, especially during floods. It's supposed to help keep, you know, farmland, cities from being flooded, right? So when those systems fail, what do you think happens? A lot of flooding happens. So this is a graphic I found. It said I don't know if I'm gonna read this part. Oh, it even has the dates, bro. So this is the Sunday before, and then it actually hit on a Monday. See, August 29th, 2005, bro. That's such a long time ago. And it says, well, the day before Katrina hit, high tides created by the storm's outer bands already swelled like Pontchartrain. I know this one's hard to say. I know. But, you know, I had to, like, hear the word, because I didn't even know this. Anyway, it engulfed low-lying wetlands and communities outside the levee system. I am a history teacher, bro! I wanted to share what I researched. Mind you, house was like... it's that highway. My house is like maybe around here-ish area. So, next! Oh. Next, bro, next! Lower Ninth Ward. Let's see, I did not live in this area, but I've heard that this was one of the worst areas. It said that Lower Ninth Ward, as early as 4:30 a.m., 2 levee wall sections on the east side of the Industrial Canal fall, releasing a deluge of water into the Lower Ninth Ward, tossing homes off their foundations, bro. So here's a picture that they have. It's kind of crazy. This is actually 2 weeks after, it says. It said, a barge, a church, homes, vehicles, other debris are scattered about at sight of the flood wall, and then I think maybe this might be the flood wall, I'm not sure. Anyway, bro, reached at the Lower Ninth Ward nearly 2 weeks after Katrina made landfall. This is 2 weeks later, bro. So, I mean, you could imagine how long it took everybody to literally get back to normal. It took several years. Okay? So yeah. Next! And then, by 5 p.m. Katrina's waves are pounding the MRGO levee. This levee right here. By dawn, levee sections crumble, and this lake right here advances to the wetlands towards St. Bernard Parish. Not where I'm at right here, not quite yet, but it's already freaking up this area right here, which is closest to the Mississippi River. And then they go to my area. Mind you, mine's surrounded by water, bro. Come on. I was already freaked out before we could start. But yeah, that's how the flooding happened, bro. Around 6 a.m., storm surge, that's what it's called. Builds in the intra-coastal waterways, funnel, and levees protecting an area of overtopped or breached. Floodwaters pour in from every direction, and here's a picture of it. Can you imagine yourself here? Mind you, right here, I believe that's where the levee is. Where it got destroyed by all this water. Okay? And basically, so like, you know, when the storm is going on, you have to remember that this levee system was extremely old. And mind you, I also have found somewhere that a storm like this happened before. What was it called? Hurricane Betsy or something like that. And the exact same thing happened. The levees broke. A bunch of flooding came in. I mean, look at this wall of water, bro. And the same thing happened. Basically, a lot of people died, and they so-called repaired the levees and made them better, but they made them with weaker materials, and guess what happened again? So it happened again, bro. And so all of this water came flushing in, and that's why it flooded the way it did. You can look at it again. So my house, somewhere around here, or whatever. All that going on, and then just there goes my house. A whole neighborhood, bro, a whole parish. The whole eastern New Orleans area. So there goes like bunch of turning. But yeah, bro. If you wanna go see the graphic, just let me know. I can definitely put a link or whatever, but oh bro. Better with weaker materials, so not very exactly. Literally exactly. Definitely did not help at all. I'm talking thousands of people's homes were affected, including mine. And many people were displaced, and I'm talking many, as well as they died, you know? Get back to my thing. Hold on. Do I have any other pictures? Oh yeah, I do. This right here, bro. I found this picture thing or whatever. Apparently it's like a whole. This right here is my house, and like they showed you all the flooding areas. Like we're all good here, but you know all this dark path here. I'm gonna show you an area that looks good or looks whatever, not like that. Let's see. Or it looks semi-good, you know, semi-dry or whatever. You can kind of see the roads and whatnot if you zoom out. And then when you get over here, let me see if I can find the lower ninth ward. Somewhere around here. Which one? I can't remember. Mind you, I had to find this out at an adult age, bro. I didn't know all this was going on at the time. Or how I lost my house, really, other than, hey, so there's a lot of flooding. There's a lot of things going on. I can't find the lower ninth ward from here. But I do know my house is in this area. Why? Because I typed in the address of my old house, and it's that same highway that I lived really close to. But all this is flooded waters. You can't really see much when you really zoom in. It's like, you know what I mean? You see it? Just flooded waters. Ew, about nicks. Sorry, bro. If I talk in that way, it's because, you know, I have to talk in that way. Keeps me from being sad, you know? But anyway, after I found that, I was like, oh, bro. So I did find a picture of my house. You want to see what it looks like in 2025, bro? It looks like this. This was my house that I lived in when I was up to 7 years old, bro. I don't know if you can see it very well because I had to take a screenshot-y, so you know. But that's what my house looked like. It had those two big trees, and at the time when I lived in this house, there was no proper roof. This is after they rebuilt, so it's been like several years after they have rebuilt, and you know, another family lives there now. But this is what it looked like. I found a picture. It looked like in 2007. This is what my house looked like in 2007, bro. I know, bro. Chill out. It was like this before. The roof was non-existent. I think we were the only house on the block that didn't have a proper roof. Like, it was just fully flat at the top. And, obviously I can't see inside the house, but you know what? Let me see. I do have. But you have to understand that, you know, since my uncles had, they were still there, they went to our house and he took pictures on the inside. So I actually have them here. Not for this, like, I didn't take a picture of it and, like, post it up here, but, you know, I'm gonna describe to you some of these pictures. Give me a second. But yeah, that was the place that I was hanging out at for, what, 7 years? So you had to get up out of there, bro. Doesn't look as awesome as it does, you know, in 2025, but I mean, I know, right? It was so little, but it was a really nice home. I had a cute room, and what else I have? My room had like my mom had painted my room this really light lavender color or whatever, and she put like butterfly stickers on like the top of the, you know, the border of the, you know what I mean? Like when you look up at a wall in the very top of the wall, she put butterfly stickers and cute little, well, stuff and things I can't remember. It was too baby. But let me drink some water real quick, bro. I've been talking for 5 hours. If I show Little Me's old home, I would dox myself since I still live. Yeah, bro. We haven't lived in that home for, well, ever since we left, bro. I believe when we left, there was really no plan to go back. There was no, well, number one, we couldn't afford to go back because that would mean we would have to repair our own house. FEMA was slow. You can read about it. What else? A lot of water damage. I'll tell you exactly from these pictures how high the water was. Let's see. I got several pictures. Not my grandpa. My uncles went to my house, or our house, a little bit and took some pictures. And I have 2 pictures of my room. I have, let's see, maybe about 1, 2, 3 pictures of the living room and part of the kitchen, and a picture of my brother's room. And we'll start with my room. So like I said, cute lavender color or whatever. And I never had a home I stayed at for too long. I think we've only had like 3 places that we've lived so far. Sorry, I have to burp. Let me see. Okay, so this picture that I have, I'm gonna just describe it. Okay, this is a picture after the storm, and I think my mom like put clothes on the what's it called, bro? A ceiling fan. She put like hung clothes on the ceiling fan so they wouldn't get wet. It was just, I think it's only 3 pairs of clothes. They're in these plastic things. I'm not sure if it was my clothes or her stuff. I feel like one of those is definitely mine though. It looks like a baby outfit or whatever. And then, bro, I need some water. Hold on. Alright. Alright, my bad. Okay, so in this picture, basically, there's like a water line. You can see where the water had sat for some time, right? And, trying to think of an example here. So remember all that massive flooding I showed y'all? And, basically whole, neighborhoods being filled with water. And of course, even more extensive flooding after the levee system had failed. So in my room, basically the water line, if you look at your room, right? If you see an outlet, the water was above the outlet, but it was also like, if you look at your door and you look at the door handle, that's where the water level was in my house. In my room, in the whole house. It was crazy. That's a lot of water. Like if you stand next to your doorknob, just see where the doorknob meets you, and that's how high the water was. For me, it was like up my thigh, definitely hit my hip. So you can imagine I'm 7 years old, and definitely not as tall as I am now. I definitely would have woke up with water everywhere. And there's another picture of my closet too, and same water level. Definitely got fricked up. Mind you, we closed the doors in our house. Them doors got swung right open, bro. Imagine the whole house would have been demolished by now. Man, you would think so, but they did not, bro. They basically repaired it and sold it. Resold that without really telling us. I think we found out by our not grandpa, I keep saying that. Our uncles. I'm sorry, I'm trying to look at this picture in the light because these pictures are so old. And then I see another picture of my brother's room. He had like this dark blue painting on the wall. And you can see where the door is open. And you can see where the water line was. And it was like a little bit above his door handle. So that's where the water had set or whatever. It was a lot of water. And mind you, this is a one-story house. So we had nowhere to go. If the water was getting, was rising even more, we didn't have an attic. And mind you, I don't got no roof. Barely had a roof or whatever. And you see it? Yeah. So barely had a roof. So you can imagine water that goes up to your door handle in this small house. And yeah, we would have not been able to survive that, unfortunately. Thank God we left, But what else? There was something I was trying to mention. I can't really remember. There are more pictures here, but again, it's just stuff that looks in disarray and thrown everywhere because of the water. And picture of a roof. Not a roof, but a ceiling. I don't know what that's a picture of. They took 2 pictures of it though. So your parents didn't even get to sell? No, they did not do that. When I was looking at my house, on Google Maps, and I looked at it on, you know how they let you have a street view and get to like click on the thing and move through. I was looking at as much as I could from 2007, and of course you could still see like houses that were torn apart. You can also see where everybody had there was like these trailers, these like white trailers. They all look the same, and like every other house would have a white trailer. So I just took it as like I'm assuming that somehow there was something going on. Maybe they made a deal with FEMA, I don't know. Anyway, they had a temporary home that was placed on their property so they could stay there. I don't know how they worked that one out, but it's a blessing nonetheless. And then you have people who were, taking care of their homes still and rebuilding. But yeah, those white trailers literally kept popping up every block I went down to go look at the damage. And at first it was weird. I was like, bro, what's going on? And I realized, this is 2 years after the storm. Everything was still kind of fricked up. And people were trying to rebuild their lives, and not everybody got lucky enough to get out on time, if at all. So, I don't know how else to explain it. It happened, but it didn't need to happen the way that it did. I hear a lot of people say that, yes, Katrina was a natural disaster, but also a man-made disaster, meaning it could have been prevented from being as bad as it was by humans, So there's that. But anyway, bro, moving on. I'm at school already or whatever. Sleep schedule bomb. Fast forward, I get through elementary. I'm doing alright, I got better at reading. Still pretty shy, very shy, actually. And a lot of anxiety at the time. And what else? I did make friends though, bros. I forgot to tell you, I did make friends at one point. I think when I was like the first couple days there, I remember being at recess, and there was like this group of girls that were following me on the playground. And bro, when I was so unsettled. I was so like scared and shook. I thought they were gonna beat me up. That was my initial thought. So I started crying, bro, and I ran to Miss Kelly, of course. And she was like, bro, you need to like calm down and try to be, be more, I don't know, less scary when trying to approach somebody new. And then I had my own little friend group of some goyles. And they were okay, but We did not stay friends. Heck nah. I think one of them, not I think, I remember this pretty vividly. There was one time when me and her were just getting stuff out of our cubby holes, and I remember she said to me, you know, I'm glad we became friends, but when I met you for the first time, or when I saw you for the first time, I really didn't like you. And I was like, oh bro, what the I was like, what did I do? And she's like, no, it's just that you were just new and everybody was giving you attention. For some reason that just stayed with me for so long. I was like, bro, you didn't like me because I was new? That's kind of weird. And I mean, we stayed friends for a little while after that, but then I left that friend group to join another friend group that accepted me more and appreciated my existence, whether I was new or not. And it was great. I was with them up until I want to say high school. And mind you, I was going to a private school, well, a Catholic school. I won't call it, don't matter, it's interchangeable. I was still going to a Catholic school in high school, and I don't have any significant stories. Well, I actually do, but not that I want to. No, I don't think I want to share that. But parents were having marital problems, and there was a lot going on in high school. And then, of course, in my sophomore year, I ended up at a public school because it was getting too expensive to go to private school. And then at that time I didn't have to wear a uniform anymore. I did have to have I think I remember. I didn't really have PE anymore either when I went to my sophomore year of high school. Around this time, bro, I was very much extremely I don't know how to explain the word. I think the big change from leaving my friend group and going to another another school where I really didn't know everyone, it made me really quiet like usual. And I didn't want to make a lot of friends. In fact, I really didn't make any friends during that time. I was pretty much, I don't know, I don't want to say depressed, but it just seemed like I was very off during the entire sophomore year. I was an average student up until that point. My sophomore year was absolute trash. I think the only good grade I got was in band, and I got an A because all I had to do was show up and play an instrument. They did have pep rallies where you had to play your instrument at the football games and stuff, and they said it's a big part of your grade, bro, so you have to make sure that you show up and blah blah blah. I was so unmotivated to do any of that, let alone be a good student at the time. I didn't show up to any pep rally, but they still gave me an A. I don't know, bro. I think they kind of had a feeling about what was going on with me, because I remember my band teacher or instructor, whatever you want to call him, he was I had just finished a play test and I didn't do very well, and he was like, I know you could do better. And then he started talking to me about, you're not doing well, I know you could do, giving the pep talk as they always do. Oh, and mind you, my brother had already gone through this high school, so they were familiar with my brother as well. And mind you, he did amazing at this school, first of all. So, so every time I came to a class where they're like, oh, you're so-and-so's little sister, bro. Wow, we love your brother, bro. And then, me coming in with my freaking quietness and also not motivated because I'm not in my usual friend group, frick. I'm sure they're probably like, you suck. I'm not gonna lie. My high school experiences, it was the same. Yeah, I kind of chose to not make friends. I feel like there were moments a one girl who was trying to be really nice to me and I want to say befriend me, I guess, but I didn't really, I don't know. I guess I was going through a lot at home, so it showed at school sometimes. And a lot going on at home. The big change. I started wanting to be alone a lot, and didn't really like. Not that I was mean or anything. I was just really quiet. But she was one person who was just like super curious because like I was not socializing like everybody else, and she was like, I remember when I did, I would avoid going to lunch always. I think when I got to that school, I went to lunch maybe 2 times. The first time I went to lunch, hell no. Like, absolutely not. There were so many kids in there. It was a small lunchroom. So many kids in there. It was too loud. There was too much going on. I was like, I'm never doing this again. I'm gonna hide and find a place to, like, I don't know, not be around everybody else. So I would either go to the bathroom for a long time, or I finally realized that the library was open, so I would go to the library and just stay there for some time until lunch was over. I had no motivation, didn't talk that much. I did decent, never did homework, and failed classes I did. Bro, you need to do a little bit better than I did. Didn't I mean graduated, but the school didn't care and graduated? Dang, bro. I definitely, well, let me think about my grades at that time. I didn't get an F in anything. I almost did, but I definitely had a bunch of C's and D's. I did get better. This was just like an off, time for me. There's a lot of changes going on. What else? Oh yeah, I was talking about the girl. So I didn't go to the lunchroom, and then, I met this girl in this other class, and she was trying to be very nice, and I was just very guarded at the time. And I remember she would always ask me, is somebody bullying you? Why don't you talk? Like, do you cuss? Like, she would ask me questions like this all the time, and it's like, kind of annoying. But, she was curious because I just wasn't very talkative, and there were some points where I did like hold a conversation with her, but ultimately I just really didn't want to be friends with her. And so she was kind of mean sometimes. I remember somebody had asked her to prom one time, and he was so nervous. And mind you, there was a bunch of students or whatever, including me. And she was like, she did let him down nicely. But then, like, when he went to go back to his seat or whatever, she basically said out loud that he was ugly, and I was like, that's kind of crazy to say, but like, you were doing so well until you said that. Like, frick, bro, you had to say that, and everybody was dogging on her. I was like, as they should. What? Bro was just trying to ask, but she wanted to go out with a different guy, and when she tried to ask bro, he rejected her. Oh Lord, it was so embarrassing to watch. Like, I know, poor guy, but it happens, But then she got rejected by the guy she did want to go to the prom with, and he was like, I don't want to go because I don't want to go, bro. And he didn't have anyone that he wanted to take. And so then she started arguing with him about why he won't take her, blah blah blah, since she's asking. And bro was just like, I just don't want to go to the prom with you. And you know what ended up happening, bro? He went to the prom with another girl. So maybe deep down he did have somebody to go with. He just didn't want to go with her. But whatever, it's high school. It doesn't even matter. Silver, welcome back. Thank you for the check-in. But yeah, high school me, very quiet, very isolated, very much, right. But I did get better in school my junior year, and my junior and my senior year, I did. Thank you for the check-in. I did way better, A's and B's. And what else? Thank you for the check-in, Alia. But yeah, I did really well in freaking high school. Now we're gonna fast forward to college, and I mean fast forward. There's a little too much information for college, and I don't know if I want to share all those stories, frick. But yeah, so in middle school, actually, I went to I was a part of this little program or whatever. And we just during the summer we would tour colleges, and I ended up touring the college that I would end up going to several years later. Mind you, I wasn't really thinking about. No, I was thinking about going to college, but like not that college though. So I never went to prom or any event. Never. Oh, bro, it's okay. I never went either. I wasn't really interested in going, to be honest. I was never asked, so you know. Where would I go? Let me get some water first. Alright, my bad, bro. Took a big ol' swig. I hate my uni experience. Did not make much friends from there, though thankfully not belong. Glad you didn't get bullied, yeah. Just speed through the college stuff. Don't get stuck on one story. It'll be. Oh my lord! It's supposed to be my discharge stream. Sorry. Shit. I thought I was going at a modern speed, but bro said, yeah, shut the hell up, not so much. But yeah, I was gonna speak through anyways. But anyway, bro. So yeah, I toured at the college that I ended up being at. I got a scholarship my freshman year, and for my freshman year. And I wanted to take a break in between, but yeah, bro. It's all good. But I wanted to take a break before I got to college, and they basically were like, "Hey, so we know you are the recipient of this scholarship, but if you take a break, then you won't be able to use it because it's only for a year, blink and blink." So I went right out of high school, straight to college. And at first I thought I was gonna be a nurse. No. No. I can't do it, bro. It's too much on my mental. I cannot be a nurse. It's not for me. So then I went on my plan B major, and that was what was it? Business administration with a concentration in management. That's what it was. And so I did that. Unfortunately, me changing majors meant I had to stay another year in college. That sucked. But you know, it's whatever you have to do. I just wanted to get the degree so I can like have a foot in the door, as they say, and you know, people look at my resume and be like, "Oh, bro, you went to school and college. You got how many years, bro? Okay, bro. Maybe you might be alright." But anyway, bro, fast forward. I remember, I did meet somebody. It wasn't like, you know, not in person. Well, I did meet somebody in person, but you know, I also met somebody online. Cause remember, well, now I remember I didn't tell you this, but at the time, I had been like playing online games for a hot minute, like since what, middle school. So I've been online, okay, bro. And so I had met this guy online, and come on, bro, you was a friend for a long time. And then I remember he visited me one time. Yes, he visited me on campus. And after that, bro, we were thick as thieves, bro. And so we did, you know, date and you know, whatever. But I'm not gonna go any further in that. But still, he is a part of the why stream now. What else happened? So we did. Okay, no, I forgot about that. He did move here. After visiting me, it took me about a couple months to actually officially move here. And then, I didn't tell my parents about none of this. There was a prior incident that we're not gonna get into. But, anyway, I was banned from being online. And so, you know, that didn't stop me from being online, clearly. So we still met via the same thing. He moved here. I didn't tell my parents. he would come see me on campus or whatever. He'd take me out to eat. Well, actually, we were not boyfriend and girlfriend at the time. Not yet. Had a great time. It was great. It was fun. But then I was like, bro, we would have talks, and I'd be like, hey, so I'm never gonna tell you. I'm never gonna like let you meet my family. Hell no. And he was like, come on, bro. Well, it can't be that bad. It can't be that bad. I mean, you know, my family is, well, my family is my family, okay, bro? And I tried to warn him. I was like, I don't think you understand, brother. It's that bad. So, you know, fast forward. I ended up telling him because I felt bad for keeping it a secret. I felt like I was being very selfish and blah blah blah. And you know, we were growing and maturing, and maturing is realizing that, hey, so that's pretty selfish of you to do that, and you shouldn't keep them a secret because what the hell. So then, wait, were we together? No, this was after my family found out about it, and I found out. I told them, and mind you, this caused a huge explosion in the family, bro. I'm not gonna get into details of that, maybe another time, but it caused such an explosion that everybody was mad, everybody was concerned, everyone was freaking out, and I'm over here like, bro, I've been talking to bro for how long? I don't know, too long. But you know, everybody was freaking out because they were thinking that I met some killer on a chat room or whatever. Mind you, he was already living here, so I was like, hey, so he also lives here. And they were like, okay, can we meet him, bro? And I was like, of course, you can meet him, yeah. Thank you for checking, bro. So then, they go to meet him. Well, he didn't go anywhere. He came to my house. But before that, I had to tell him, mind you, this was the night before this. This was a very emotional night, like extremely emotional. They were saying a lot of crazy things about him, okay? And everybody's like, you don't know him yet. Yes, I do. But anyway, bro, I need to prove a point. So after all that happened, I talked to him the night before, and I said, hey, so they want to meet you on this day, and it's not gonna be your typical, hey, meet the family. It's gonna be an interrogation. Hi Atlas, welcome back. Oh, Atlantis. Sorry, frick, I said Atlantis again. Welcome in. Doing story time. Hey, Kamina, now watching 360 yours, thank you, bro. Talking about romance a little. But yeah, so I told him it was gonna be an interrogation, which it was. I told him he's gonna have to, tell, you know, probably a lot about himself. You can't mince words, you can't, like, you know, don't be scared, but like, this is serious. And so he was like, okay, I'm a little nervous, but, and he asked me, should I get your mom flowers? And I was like, you know what? At first I decided against it. I was like, I don't know, bro. She seemed really pissed last night, and by pissed I mean like super angry and concerned, but like the anger is out of concern. But I don't know. He was like, you know what? I'm gonna still get the flowers. And I said, okay, just don't get red roses. That's all. When he came with those flowers, bro, my mom would not be quiet about them flowers. Oh, thank you, boo. She was being so nice. And I was like, mind you, last night you was on top of my head. It was crazy. Could go what, bro? Now you could got full on Batman's? No, bro, it was my parents that were doing that. It wasn't me. I didn't interrogate, bro. I mean, I was already, we weren't dating, but we were mutually exclusive already. So I was like, oh, I didn't have to really interrogate, bro. It was pretty chill. But you know, this was a long time ago. Obviously, we're not together now, but there's a reason for that. But anyway, bro, get to the interrogation. When I tell you he did so well during this interrogation with my family, it was mostly my mom talking, and then my dad, you know. when I tell you, they were expecting some psycho killer, madman, whatever. He was not like that at all, duh, because I knew that. But he was just so, like, the way he spoke, I was proud. I was so proud. Tell you, I couldn't show it there because we were both sitting on the couch. It was like, literally this would look like, we were sitting on the couch, my mom was standing up on the other side of the room, my dad was sitting in his favorite chair, frick, and my brother was standing on the other side. They had us like cornered on all sides, asking questions. And when he was just speaking to them so calmly, and he just did an amazing job. And so he did so good that he got my dad to start talking casually. I mean, they were laughing all loud and having a great time. And my mom in the background like, you know, acting up. But you know, I remember after everything was over with the interrogation, we went out on the freaking deck. And I told bro, I was like, you did an amazing job. So I can't show it right now, but like you did that. You would kill me. Literally, yes. I'm so serious. That's kind of how it was. She was like, can I see your ID? She literally asked for his ID and he said, sure. He really wasn't nervous at all. Even though he was nervous at first, he was still prepared. He said, yeah, I have my ID right here. She wanted to see all of that. If you ever murder somebody, if you ever abuse somebody, I'm like, man, these questions are crazy. I mean, they're good questions, but like, come on, bro. Anyway, bro, it's just in the nature of how we met, and they were worried about it, I guess. Whatever. I stuck beside him. So anyway, bro, I said I was proud of bro. I said he did an amazing job, and he was like, thank goodness. And his ID, I know, bro, I know. My parents are very overprotective, so naturally, them being overprotective made me more sneaky later on. And that's why this happened again after the incident, bro. This is the first time I told him about who I was talking to. And then that was when I was a teenager. Then when I became an adult, I just did it more sneakily. Honestly, I feel like I would have definitely gotten away with it, but it was him always telling me, you know, oh, I can't wait to meet your family. I'd love to meet your brother, and you know, we play games together. It was him that made me softer, and I was like, okay, now I feel awful about doing what I'm doing. So you know, bit the bullet. It was a big ass bullet, and it exploded everywhere, and it was a lot going on. And so I was like, oh, come on, you know, where's your wisdom from this? What wisdom, bro? I'm just doing things. But anyway, bro, so after that, some time passes, we finally become an official couple, bro. He had asked me out randomly in the car on the way home. By home, I mean on campus or whatever, because he used to drive me to campus. Yes, he had a car. Yes, he had a place to live. Yes, he was doing this thing, and that was great. I think fast forward. We're getting close to like what, COVID time, and at this time, this is like right before we went into like this massive quarantine, right? So at this time, my boy, my BF, he had this pest control job, and apparently he had got laid off from this job. But at the time he didn't tell me about it, which is fine. He just wasn't ready to share that. It didn't bother me, to be honest. And then he was going through it where he was at. I was still on campus at school. There was an incident at school. Somebody did unalive themselves, you know, in a dorm. In the dorm that I was staying at. And that was crazy. It was one of my classmates in one class, and for some reason this just like, I don't know how to explain it other than like it was crazy. And for some reason my heart just really ached for this girl. I don't know. I didn't know her personally, but just knowing that, you know, somebody was hurting so close in the same vicinity, the proximity, that's what it was really getting me. And just knowing that she was hurting so much that, you know, she did that. But that's not the point. We're not talking about that. I'm not gonna talk about the details. So after that, there was a vigil that was being held. I wanted to attend said vigil. And then, at this time, me and my boyfriend at the time, we weren't talking. This was like the first time we were not talking to each other. He was going through so much at the time that even he wasn't sharing. Usually he's like the first to share stuff. And I was going through so much mentally and just, there was so much going on. And, you know, I didn't even know that COVID was about to happen. And, with the girl happening and also around this time, I believe, Kobe passed away with his daughter and then the helicopter. Bro, it was a lot going on that campus. So, let me get some water. Hold on. Okay. My bad, bro. I had to make sure I was good. Well, then, oh yeah, so much going on. We're about to fall apart. I finally reached out to bro. By bro, I mean my boyfriend's time. I was like, hey, so, do you want to attend this vigil with me? Blah, blah. Haven't talked in a while. And by a while, it was just like, I want to say a week or something like that. And, he was like, yeah. And he said he wanted to talk about some things. And I was like, yeah, I want to talk about some things too. A lot is going on. And we had briefly talked about it through text. And so he came over to my campus. And I think the first thing I had noticed was that, you know, his eyes were red. My bro had been crying. I was like, Lord, my boy. You know? I was like, I didn't want to make him cry more, so I was like, you know, I was trying to be, I don't know, very gentle, and we were just talking regular, casual conversation. I did ask him about it later, though, guys. I need to know. But we were about to go on spring break as well, I believe. So, you know, at this time, a lot of people were leaving. I had already packed my stuff. You know, my parents came to come pick up my things, and they said that, you know, if you all want to stay for the vigil, totally fine. At this point, he was cool with my family, everything was good. And they said, you know, you can ride home with him if you want to. I said, okay, cool. So they went, grabbed my things, took it back to the house, and we had some time to kill. First of all, the vigil was that night, and it was only like the afternoon, I think. And I was like, well, at least we have time to talk. And so we were in his car, and he had brought a Switch with him and all that. It was great. My bad, that was my bracelet. And we finally talked about it. He finally let me know that yes, he got laid off from his job, and I was, you know, we were just talking, and I got a burp. I gave my mouth, but anyway. So we were just talking. I was consoling him, of course, and I was telling him about what happened to me, and not about what happened to me, but what happened on campus, and why I've just been kind of MIA, and just my mind was everywhere thinking about that girl and everything, and I don't know, I just wasn't there for like that entire week. So and also I ended up crying about it. It was I don't know, it was, for some reason, it just really affected me, and me having a bit of a breakdown, but also wanting to attend the vigil was what I wanted to do. So I told him about it, and he was like, I didn't know that was going on. I was like, yeah, I didn't know what you had going on was going on. And so we drove around a little bit. I think we went to the park that, you know, when he visited for the first time. It's the same park that we went to. So we went there, we were talking more, some tears were shed. I couldn't cry for some reason. I was so overwhelmed with my emotions, but I just still couldn't cry. But when we got to that vigil, bro, all the tears were coming out. Like, it was a lot. We did get her flowers, though. We got her mom flowers because her family was there. And, it was very emotional, I would say. And, so that was the last thing I had attended at school, like, physically. After the vigil, gave her mom some flowers. Her mom was, I mean how a mother would be losing a child. And she had other siblings. Her older sister was there, her baby sister was there, like, they were there. And I remember when I gave her mom flowers, the way her mom hugged me and was comforting me, it was surreal. Like, I was trying to give those for her, you know? And just for her to just be so loving, even though she didn't know me. It was different. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, but I almost didn't give her the flowers because I was so scared to go out there and do that. And my boyfriend at the time literally had to physically push me up there. Like, come on, bro, we came all this way. And I was like, I know, but like, I don't know. But we did do that, and then it was a long, quiet car ride home. And then boom, COVID happened. And I was like, oh, bro. So then I couldn't really go to school physically no more. I had online classes. My bro got a new job. He got a new job. He was working at Toyota. That was amazing. Unfortunately, you know, we hung out less, even more or less now, because, well, number one, COVID. And then, of course, you know, at his job, instead of the day shift, he chose the night shift. So, you know, when I was awake, he was asleep, and when he was asleep, I was awake. So it was one on one, and so, you know, I had to end things. That I wasn't really in that headspace to be a girlfriend at the time. Anyways, there's a lot of components. Like, I was focused on school. It was really, really stressful, and I mean really stressful. Like, just imagine, like, all these classes now online that you have to do. You get boatloads of homework. You don't have time for nothing. But, you know, we had a very mature conversation about it, you know? Anyway, so fast forward even more, bro. I was in my senior year of college. I was doing my independent study and some other courses, I believe. And, well, yeah. And I remember, I'm not gonna go too deep into this because it does involve, you know, my boy. But anyway, so, we weren't together anymore, but we were still talking. And to preface, you know, he did have a condition. He did have, I believe it's type 1 diabetes, where your body doesn't produce insulin. So one day he just was not feeling well, like really bad or whatever, and we talked about it, and he had been taking the wrong insulin for like 5 months, and it was just a whole lot going on. He wasn't feeling well at work. He went to work. Then he went to, you know, the hospital, and you know, they released him. They said, well, just, you know, since you have an appointment next week, you know, you can use the insulin that you've been using, the one that's been making him sick. And so, before I knew it, you know, his health just declined so much. Like, I don't know. It's just, I mean, it happened in like, I want to say a span of like, 3, let me look at the week. I want to say maybe, yeah, about 3 days. About 3 days. And then, you know, one time he said that, you know, he wasn't feeling well and that he was gonna go to sleep. And I was like, okay, well, just, you know, let me know when you get up, bro, and let me know that you're okay or whatever. Because we used to always do that, even though we weren't boyfriend and girlfriend anymore. I still need those checkups and everything. Because I still cared about him, duh, of course. And I think I loved him, maybe not romantically anymore, but, in a sense of like, I don't know. That's broke. I can't just turn it all off. But anyway, bro, I do recall. It was when I remember when I was waiting for him to text me back, and you know, he works a night shift, and it basically, I think, what was I doing at the time? I'm trying to remember what I was doing at the time. He works a night shift, so it was nighttime, and you know, he hadn't messaged me back, so I assumed that, you know, he was getting up for work or whatever. And I was just watching my true crime or whatever, which, you know, I used to do a lot actually. And I remember this one episode was talking about, man, I haven't heard from my loved one in a minute. And I was like, you know, I haven't heard from my loved one in a minute either. And I thought that he was just running late, which has happened before, you know. He may be too busy or, you know, to reply back or whatever. Damn. He didn't reply back for the entire night. So that really made me extremely nervous. I do recall crying that night because I was like very worried. I was like, well, I don't want to be too dramatic like last time. Come on, bro. I know I'm dramatic, but like last time he didn't do this, I started spamming that phone. But then I was like, well, let me chill for a second. Let me not spam his phone like last time. But it is really weird. Bro usually messages me right when you get up. So then the next day comes. And it's like early in the morning. I woke up like super early in the morning. And I was like, where's bro? Why isn't he texting me? Where the frick is bro? Some time goes by and I remember, you know, I was acting a little bit off, you know, at my house. And my mom was like, I haven't seen you in a minute. Are you good? What's you know? And I was like, well, I haven't heard from him in a minute, like at least a day. And, you know, I was thinking about doing a welfare check and blah blah blah. And, you know, for the first time, she wasn't like, you're being dramatic. She was like, you know what? Sounds like a good idea. I was like, okay, period. So I did a welfare check. I didn't know how to do one, to be honest. I had to look it up. It's my first time. I was really nervous also. They were asking me so many questions. And not only that, at this time he also moved to a new apartment. I knew the floor in the building, but I didn't know like the room number or whatever. So I could only give them as much as I could. And then, you know, they were like, okay, well, we'll send a, you know, officer out there, blah blah blah. And mind you, this was when this all happened. You know, this was in February actually, and like we were having a winter storm. Oh my frick, there was so much snow everywhere, and then we had a storm the day that I was sending off the welfare check, and the officer apparently did get there, and it's okay, bro. Have a good night. Thank you for coming, son. Oh my bad, Miss Dex. Doesn't think you would tell us part of the story almost. Aw, bro, cries. I'm gonna go over it very light. But yeah. So long story short, bro basically he passed away in his sleep. It was hard for me to get a police officer over there when it was storming. Or I say storming, but like a winter storm. And so I was like, oh bro, I don't know what to do. So like the next day, and no, I was not reacting like this when this was happening. I was acting totally differently, but it's easier for me to talk about stuff when I talk about it nonchalantly or whatever. So finally I got another officer over there and they were able to confirm everything. And so obviously after this sent me into this like depression for like, I want to say this happened in what, 2021, and sent me to this like deep depression for like, I want to say 3 years. Yeah, because I was still dealing with it in 2024, and I think in 2025 is when I slowly but surely kind of got out of my depression. I did try to stream around that time, but it was like really random though. It was never like not as intentional as I do it now. It's very random. I go live maybe at night, maybe during the day, because I had so much time on my hands and I wasn't motivated to really do anything that was for me. So as a result, my life just felt like it was stuck in one place for quite some time. And I think I forgot to look this up. I forgot when I posted my first short or whatever. The one where some of you bros were able to see it and were like, "Why are you not streaming?" Blah blah blah. I think it was around, I want to say 2025, and that was when I kind of sort of stopped being like, I don't know, I'm not stopped being depressed, but started getting my life on track and started doing things to improve my life. Like, it's not like I was I want to say I was like in a mental anguish for the first 2 years, but that third year I was like, I'm cooling, but like I'm not doing anything to improve my life. I'm kind of just settling right now. And so that was the year I really started doing stuff. Wow, well, you're new. Hi, welcome in. Who's playing? Can I get I can tell you the channel, but I don't know the artist's name. I believe the channel is, let me see, Lepreezy, Lepreezy, and you have a playlist for like copyright-free jazz music. So yeah, you can check it out there. But yeah, so yeah, part of, I think in somewhat the beginning of 2025, I started to come out of my depression. I started really doing things to improve my life. I got a new job. I built my computer. I was working on projects toward, you're welcome. I was working on projects toward VTubing and things like that, because I had already discovered VTubing in 2021 at some point. And I figured this is something I wanted to do. And I think so far it's been great. But mostly because I think I wanted to fill that void. When you're going through your grief journey, sometimes, especially if it's someone that you're really close to, it can often be really isolating. And sometimes you start craving that human interaction that you'd once had with that person. So you start doing things that you normally don't do. And so streaming was one of those. And, of course, I did stream on Kick, and then I fell off completely for a whole year, but then I came back. And then I debuted this model. And I think, well, not I think, the reason why y'all are seeing me now is because, well, my life is back on track and I'm doing better, at least mentally, I think. I have my days, of course, like everybody else. But I enjoy doing this. I'm not doing this to fill the void anymore. It's more so because I want to do it for fun. This is fun for me, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I feel like everybody should try streaming at least once. See if you like it. It could be fun for you, I don't know. It depends on what you want to do, I saw that VTubing was super duper fun, so that's why I'm doing it. And instead of doing to fill the endless void, it's not that endless, but I thought I would at least create a space for people to chill out, hang out, which I feel like has been going pretty well. And I feel like y'all have bonded very well. Yeah. That's the main reason why I do it now. But I mean, the short but sweet is pretty much I do what I want, whenever I want. Yeah, I kind of want to get back to singing again, bro. Yes, you do. Come on. I didn't told you what you could do. You could stream, or you could do what I do, just play old games sometimes, or just I don't know. You do it's like whatever you want to do, bro. That's the beauty of it. You know what I mean? Like, there's an audience for literally everything. Even, different types of people. like for me, I don't really consider myself like a highly entertaining person to watch, but like sometimes you could be a nice little, you know, oasis for somebody who's having a rough day or just, you know, need some quiet time and want to chill and watch somebody play something. Now, do I get loud sometimes? I mean, yeah, but not like, you know, super high energy all the time. So I always encourage bros. If you want to stream, just try it. Just try it, bro. It's never. It's an open like landscape. You do whatever you want. You want to do IRL, do IRL. You want to do VTuber, do VTuber. You want to be faceless, be faceless. You want to stream old games, stream old games. You want to stream new games, stream new games. Do whatever you want. That's why it's fun. I don't know if we have time to do personality test. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I did say that the story time is gonna be fairly long, so I'm not gonna yarn. But you know, that is my story, though. Just say I'm glad you feel better. I'm sorry for your mom. I try and provide color, but I don't. No, it's okay, bro. This happened like. Let's see. That moment in my life happened exactly 5 years ago now. So I've had plenty of time to heal as much as I have. I feel like with grief there is no real like end goal. It's pretty much there are gonna be days where it feels like a lot, but for me it's not that often though, where I feel really down about what happened. It's like, you know, the longer it's been, the more you've learned how to cope with things. My brain quite literally just shoves it to the back of my head, and I really don't think about it until I talk about it. Was the longest I think, yo, bro. I figured I might as well have this long talking stream, so that way, you know, if you want to just listen to me yap about whatever, you can. It's now a just chatting stream. Thank the Lord. I will do the personality quiz pretty fast. I don't wanna, like, you know what I mean? Keep y'all. Wait, no. Some people need to go to bed, bro. But let's do it fairly quickly. I'm gonna try to be quick. Okay, bros. I'm sorry for me. That bitch, and I try to be fast. How did I do this before? Yeah. Here I go, bro. How big am I? Am I too big? Nice, it's just right. Wait, no. It's just right. You know. We're gonna be quick and fast. Quick, fast, in a hurry. Promise. Alright, bro, we're just trying to figure out my freaking this whatever. I don't know. You regularly make new friends? No. Complex what? And novel ideas excite you more than simple and straightforwardness. Wait, one more time. Complex and novel ideas excite you more than simple and straightforward ones. No. Meow. So we come for the but part of my friends were holy. Sorry to hear about your. Oh, you're so cute, bro. I was gonna joke with you. Oh no, it's fine. I make plenty of jokes about bro. Literally the last text that you sent me, bro, was saying that he was gonna sleep some more. Bro ended up sleep forever. The frick. At this point, you know, it's been a long time, so it's okay. But if Maddie lose, I lost my. Well, even though we weren't boyfriend and girlfriend at the time, yes, he was my ex-boyfriend, but also my best friend. Someone that I would feel like was like a pivotal part of my life. I want to say that. Yeah, he was cool. He was awesome, you know. I said, so you really feel more persuaded by what resonates, what emotionally with you than by whatever woman. Can't read. You usually feel more persuaded by what resonates emotionally with you than by factual arguments. Oh yeah, I'm pretty emotional, but you know, I do need the facts, so I'm not gonna hard agree, but a little agree, you know? They're even. What, yeah, right? Really make new friends? No, bro. Bro, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's not like I'm like not that great at like conversations and making new friends. And that's like become hard. No. Like, how do I come off not super awkward and like dumb as hell trying to talk? Like, like, bro, I don't know what to ask people sometimes. But yeah, your living, what, and working space are clean and organized? Yes, bro, I can confirm always. You usually stay calm even under a lot of pressure. It depends on what the situation is. Typically, yes. It depends. If it's a lot, like my personal, I'm usually pretty calm. But if it's something outside of my realm, it might be difficult. You know? As in going out of your way to, yes, bro, yes. That's exactly what I mean. But like with you bros, I mean, it's different. It's different, bro. You know what I mean? Like, we hang out, we have like something to talk about sometimes. But like, there's something there that connects us, which helps. But for me, like trying to actually make friends with no prior connections or a task or whatever, it's really like freaking awkward. It's awkward as all frick for me. Anyway, bro, you find the idea of networking or promoting yourself to strangers? Yeah, bro, I hardly. It's weird. You prioritize and plan tasks effectively, often completing them well for the maybe. It depends on what it is. If it's like work related, yes. People's stories and emotions speak louder to you than numbers and data, yes. You are what you like to use organizing tools like schedules and lists. Obviously, yes. You're right, we all come to you and you kinda have to No, bro, I'm always happy to have you all here. So hush, bro, you're welcome here always. Even a small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall abilities and knowledge. Absolutely happens a lot, bro. I just have to kind of be like, hey, bro, so, you know what you're talking about. Quit tripping. You feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interesting? And absolutely not, we just talked about that. You are not too interested in discussions about various interpretations of creative works. What? I'm not interested in discussions about various... I mean, that's not true. So I disagree. A little. Depends on what it is. I would like when we first hung out. It was hella awkward. And I still laugh looking at you, bro. You were so quiet. I was trying to like talk, but you were so quiet that it made me talk more. Like frick. I was like, oh my frick, I don't know what I'm doing. Am I doing something wrong, bro? Does he hate me here? Dog. You prioritize facts over people's feelings when determining your course of action. I prioritize facts over people's feelings. A little bit agree. Again, it depends on what's going on, you know? Am I talking to the girls and, you know, the girls need me to be a girl's girl? Well, you know. You know, but we do gotta be a little factual sometimes, and, you know? But it's how you say things, right? And the course of action needs to be catered to what they can handle sometimes. Anyway, bro, you often allow the day to unfold without any schedule at all. Rarely. I have like a, you know, even especially with streaming, there are certain things that I will make sure that I do, kind of like a little, like a schedule in my brain hole, like, you know, that's how I function, bro. And then if I get outside of that routine or schedule, it does frick up my day a little bit. Not gonna lie. You rarely worry about whether you make a good impression on people that you meet. I really don't worry about it because I'm not a monster. I mean, what? Even in streaming, you know, I don't worry about it, bro. People are either going to like you or not. I just make sure I be nice. you enjoy participating in team-based activities? Not really, bro. But if it's like team-based gaming, probably yes. You enjoy experimenting with new and untested approaches? Not really though, no. Remember, I like a routine. I like it to be the same, so that way it's predictable. Let me do a bigger agree on that. You prioritize being sensitive over being completely honest. One more time. You prioritize being sensitive over being completely honest. I mean, I could do both. But if it really depends on who I'm talking to. Sometimes if you need to word things in a different way, not everybody can handle blunt honesty. So sometimes you need to word it in a different way so that it's more palatable for them. If it's a friend though, if it's a random person, do whatever you want, bro. So a little bit of creep, but not completely, you know? Can you get some chalky milk? Sugar bread? What is sugar bread, bro? Right, bro? What is that? Anyway, bro, you actively seek out new experience and knowledges. To a certain extent, yes. Like, it has to be stuff that I'm like currently interested in though, you know? I'll explore that, like with VTubing. Yeah, I want to know more about it because I'm doing it right now. Anyway, bro, you are prone to worrying that things will take a turn for the worse. Yeah. It happens, bro. It literally happened with bro. So, yeah. You enjoy solitary hobbies or activities more than group ones. Always. You cannot imagine yourself writing fictional stories for a living. No, fictional? You're right, I cannot. I could do non-fictional. You favor efficiency in decisions, even if it means disregarding some emotional aspects. I favor efficiency in decisions. I kind of do. I don't want to completely disregard emotional aspects. I think it's important to always, you know, include those, but maybe it depends on the degree, you know? But I kind of do. Even if it means that, because sometimes there are some hard decisions that you have to make in life and you're gonna have to put your emotions to the side sometimes. Okay? I know some people are like, well, what the frick? I'm sorry, bro. Sometimes there are some sacrifices that have to be made where you can't just be too emotional about it, you know? If it's a necessary thing and don't do it with everyday stuff. Okay, bro? You prefer to do your chores before allowing yourself to relax all the time. Like the frick. No fantastical romance between dragons? No, bro. That is a hard question. Yeah, I gotta help my mom or something. It's okay, bro. Why'd you make that face? Like, I'll help your mom, bro. In disagreements, you prioritize proving your point over preserving the feelings of others. It really depends. Prioritize proving my point over preserving the feelings of others. I kind of have to do a bit of both sometimes. Because there are times where I have had conversations or disagreements where, yeah, bro, I gotta prove my point. But, you know, I don't take it to the point where, you know, I'm stepping all over their feelings. I can understand that, yes, I need to prove my point, but we don't have to take it that far either. So, a little, sometimes. It really depends on the topic, though. If I understand that you need a gentle touch, I will always do that. Usually wait for others to introduce themselves first, always. What the frick I look like doing that? Your mood can change very quickly. Oh yeah, always. You're not easily swayed by emotional arguments. I'm an emotional person. You often end up doing things at the last possible moment. I mean, when it comes to setting up stream, I usually do it like an hour before. It's not the last possible amount, but I take every freaking minute after it hits 9 o'clock. I'm not gonna lie. So, maybe yes. You enjoy debating ethical dilemmas. I don't enjoy doing that, but I've done that before. You usually prefer to be around others rather than on your own. Yeah, small and small, okay, you know? I don't mind other people, but, I usually, you know. Well, actually, no, I disagreed it, actually, when I read it again. I disagree. I don't mind others, but I would rather be, you know, by myself. I like, small agree though. I mean, disagree. You become bored or lose interest when the discussion gets highly theoretical. Nope. Disagree. When facts and feelings conflict, you usually find yourself following your heart. Wait, one more time. You said when facts and feelings conflict, you usually find yourself following your heart. I would say back then, yes, but I do a mixture of both, but usually I would go with my brain, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you can't leave with our heart all the time, or follow your heart or whatever. But yeah, sometimes you just have to go with the facts if things are conflicting. Yes, I feel this way, but this is also true and factual. Frick. So what do I say? Disagree, bro. You find it challenging to maintain a consistent work or study schedule, sorry. No. No, I don't think so. You rarely, second guess the choices that you have made. Kinda true, actually. I normally don't. It really depends on what I'm doing. If I'm doing something like at work or whatever, and maybe I've encountered a problem where I haven't really encountered before, but I'm taking old information and applying it to new information. And, you know, I may second guess the decision I make in that moment, but as far as my own life decisions, I rarely second guess my life decisions. Your friends would describe you as lively and outgoing. No. Probably not, bro. Welcome back, bro. A 7 out of 10. Like the bomb will explode, but it says it's gonna explode, so it's probably gonna explode. Pretty much, bro. Frick. Doesn't matter how you feel, it's gonna explode, bro. You're drawn to various forms of creative expression, such as writing. Not really, no. I did have like a digital journal or like an actual journal. But you know, I don't do it as much anymore, so it's like a little bit of disagree. Disagree or whatever. You usually base your choices on objective facts rather than emotional impressions. Depends on what it is, because when something is going on, I need time to think about it. So to a certain extent, yes. I'm thinking of objective facts, but I also take into account of how I feel. But let me think. I know, whenever, at least when I have time to think, right? And let's say there's a difficult decision or choice I need to make, I typically like to sleep on it, which allows me to think more objectively rather than emotionally. So, now if it's in the heat of the moment, it'll be emotional, obviously. So, usually base your time. Usually, bro. Usually, if I have time to think. You like how to, what? You like to have a to-do list for each day? No. What the frick? I mean, frick, bro. Talking so much. But anyway, bro, I don't need a to-do list for each day. I kind of have like an inner, you know what I mean? Of what I need to do. You rarely feel insecure. I mean, disagree. We all have an insecurity. It's not gonna be a big disagree because, like I said, I'm an adult now, so I'm more secure than I was when I was a child. But of course, we still have that. So I won't say I'll never feel insecure, but of course I do. You know? You avoid making phone calls. Absolutely, I hate phone calls. I don't like to be called unexpectedly. I just hate it, bro. It's really like, I don't know. It gives me anxiety, bro, to be called randomly. You know what I mean? You enjoy exploring unfamiliar ideas and viewpoints. Sometimes. Depends on what it is. You can easily connect with people you have just met. It depends. It really depends. Not in the sense that, like, I just met you today and I'm already connecting. It takes me a few days to connect to somebody if there is a connection that can be made. I want to say that it's not easy, really. It takes a bit of time for me to get to that point, but like, and I'm talking about a real connection. I'm not talking about a superficial. And somebody I just met, so like, yeah, bro. If your plans are interrupted, your top priority is to get back on track as soon as possible. Yes. You are still bothered by mistakes that you made a long time ago. I kinda don't really have any massive regrets in my life. Yes, I've made mistakes. But I don't really regret those mistakes. If anything, I've learned from them. So, learning from my mistakes allows me to not be bothered by them as time goes on. So I'm not really bothered by these mistakes anymore. No. You grow, you mature, you change for the better. Anyway, bro, are you what you are not? Did I really switch the words around? Something's going on. You're not too interested in discussing theories on what the world could look like in the future. Oh no, I am. Definitely. So I disagree. That's a disagree. Your emotions control more than you control them. I feel like as an adult, I can definitely regulate my emotions pretty well. Now when it's the heat of the moment or whatever, I can walk away. I've done it before. But I've also allowed my emotions to take and do as they please. But I don't ever get like violent or whatever. Not violent, but still. I would say at this point, emotion control you more than control. I would disagree with that. At this point, I'm able to. I have the emotional intelligence to be able to regulate myself if needed. But making decisions, you focus more on how the affected people might feel than on what is most logical and more efficient. Again, depends on what the decision I made for you. Focus more on how you. I kind of do, especially. Well, yes, I do. Let me think for a second. Sorry. I've definitely had to make decisions in my life where I know that it will affect another person. It really depends on what the situation is. If this person is somebody that I need to get away from, or I need to separate myself or make a decision to cut ties, I may think about that person and how it will affect them, but also understand that logically speaking, this is the better decision, you know? But I don't know, it depends. So maybe like a little bit agree, but also, you know, not fully agree, okay, bro? Your personal work style is closer to spontaneous personality than organized and consistent efforts. I feel like yes, I can be organized, but like it really depends on what's happening. If I have a lot to do on my plate, then I need to prioritize and organize. But like in my personal like work, like let's say VTubing or whatever, it's very spontaneous. Sometimes I just really get in the throes of planning and working on things for streaming. So, yeah. When someone thinks highly of you, you wonder how long it would take for them to feel disappointing you. Yeah, a little. Just a little, bro. Cause it's like, that's why I also don't like it when people put me on a pedestal. I always remind them, hey, so I'm a normal person that can make mistakes, and also, you know, I don't know everything. So I apologize if I disappoint you later, bro. Anyway, but also you gotta not care about that too. It's important, but you know. You would love a job that requires you to work alone? Yes, always, bro. Come on. You believe that pondering abstract philosophy, you know what I'm trying to say, bro. Questions is a waste of time. Philosophical. No? Question mark? You feel more drawn to busy, bustling atmospheres than... Come on, bro. If a decision feels right to you, you often act on it without needing further proof. Incorrect, bro. One thing about me is that I am definitely, if I'm making a decision, I already said I have to sleep on it and everything, so I have to sleep on it and also have further evidence to back up why I'm doing something, you know? So, I disagree. I've been making sure I have all of that so I can, you know, and that's also, it can place into the whole, if I make a decision, that's also a mistake. At least I, you know, worked it out in my brain and everything, but you know, I have no regrets. I've already thought about all the things. I'm good, bro. I made my decision based off of all this evidence. I'm good. Yeah, bro, you often feel overwhelmed. Yeah, sometimes. You complete things methodically without skipping over any steps. Usually. You prefer tasks that require you to come up with creative solutions rather than come on, bro. I need that structure. I'm very much into structure. You are more likely to rely on emotional intuition than logical reasoning when making a choice. I love my emotional intuition, but I do rely on my intuition quite a lot whenever I am making a decision. Sometimes just have a feeling, just know. I feel like my intuition is really good, actually. Like, especially when you know, bro passed away. Even the night that I, you know, didn't hear from him, my emotional intuition already made me know the worst. Like, I knew something was wrong already. Even though, oh well, Brokehead does not text you, and he might be late for work, and he might be busy, he doesn't have to text you, you're not his girlfriend, blah blah blah, but I still, you know, intuition. But, I don't know. Do I rely on it more than logical reasoning? Maybe. Maybe a little. You struggle with deadlines? Nope, I have a job that is nothing but deadlines. You feel confident that things will work out for you? Honestly, yeah. Even though I can be very, like, pessimistic sometimes, or very realistic about certain things that I feel like will not work for me, I still feel confident that in the end things will work out, you know? Whether I put in the effort or, hey bro, you just got lucky, I'm gonna put like a little, not fully, but you know, I think it will. I think it'll work out. Wow, bro, what bro, a logistician? Logistician? You know, this has actually changed since last time. It used to be something else, I just can't remember. But let me read this, bro. As a logist, you are more what? You are the backbone of society, embodying reliability, practicality, and unwavering dedication. Your meticulous nature and strong sense of duty make you an indispensable force in both personality and professional spheres. You approach life with a clear set of principles, value, tradition, structure, yup, and well-defined expectations. Always. Always, bro. I love predictability. Always. Yeah, I changed. It said I was introverted, but that's part of a different graph now. It did change, bro. Because I wasn't like this before. I think I was like, I can't remember what the name was, but it was like the character was like a nurse or whatever. Bro, what are you saying blue for? And it says your strength lies in your ability to create order from chaos. Technically, I did do this. I'm telling you, I did do this. I do recall, you know, when I was going through my grief journey, I remember seeing this before. And this is something I've always said to myself, or noticed actually after time has gone on. When everything is out of control in my life, there are things that are happening that I cannot control. I will always find something that I can control, so that way I can keep my brain together, at least for a moment. Like when bro passed away, I was still in school and whatnot. That, I mean, to put it lightly, I was very much out of control. That was probably the most out of control I've ever felt in my life, emotionally. But I knew in my brain that I can still control the fact that I can, you know, I'm still in school, I can still do well, and I did. I continued to do well in school. I passed my last courses for my senior year. I was doing well before that, so you know, but these classes were needed to graduate, so I stayed locked in even though I was quite literally falling apart, bro. It was a lot going on. And of course, after I graduated, I needed something else to do. I needed something else to control in my life. It was still really hectic mentally, my brain hole. So what do you think I did? I went to go get a job. I went to go get a job. I needed a place to, so, you know, you can control the fact that you gotta go get up, go to work, do your thing. That gives you a sense of control, something, you know, to focus on before you lose control. And so that's what I've always done. Anytime I need to focus, anytime things are going dumb crazy, I'm gonna find something to control. Not other people though. That's not how my thing works. But anyway, methodically organizing information and resources to achieve tangible results. You excel at maintaining systems and following through on commitments. Yes, I do, bro. Often becoming the person others turn to when they need something done right, bro. Wow, that's so nice. I mean, I am a people pleaser, so that makes sense. However, your preference for established methods can sometimes make you, yes, bro, resistant to change. You win adaptation, this word right here, might be beneficial. Very true. Very kind of, I don't like change, you know? Okay, so because you're not turned blue. Blue where? Oh, bro. And frick, even in my little mini bio, I said 100% introverted. I'm sorry, bro. I lied. I'm only 97% introverted. You likely prefer fewer yet keep a meaning. Wait, what? You likely prefer fewer yet deep and meaningful social interactions and feel drawn to calmer environments always. Ooh, okay, 55% observant. You're likely pragmatic and down to earth with a strong focus on what's happening or very likely to happen. Very much so, bro. Thank you, bro. 50%. You likely focus on objectively and rationality, putting effectiveness above social harmony, bro. Sometimes. Oh, bro. I be judging. Sorry, bro. You're likely organized, decisive, and thorough, valuing structure and planning over spontaneity. Very true, bro. Oh, bro. Turbulent. You're likely self-conscious, sensitive to stress, bro, always. Success-driven, perfectionist, and eager to improve. I mean, very true. Definitely, I have been told, at least, you know, when I was talking to my psychiatrist, that she was like, yeah, you definitely have a little bit of perfectionist tendencies. I do. My vote. So I'm writing some roles that allow you to apply your exceptional organizational skills and attention to detail. This is quite literally the skills that I had to market myself on. First of all, being organized, attention to detail, and anyway, but it's what I had to do for the corporate world. You thrive in structured environments where rules and procedures are clearly defined, and you take pride in your ability to maintain high standards of quality and efficiency. Sure. Your natural inclination towards order and your strong work ethic make you an asset in fields such as accounting. I'm in payroll, but it's not the same thing. They're two different things. But anyways, it's kind of ironic how I am in payroll right now. So, law enforcement or project management. I kind of manage my own projects anyway, though. So, it's kind of cool. Hold on, let me kiss my warrior. There's so much talking, bro. However, your career journey isn't without its challenges. What is it, bro? Your preference for stability might sometimes hold you back from pursuing. That is true. I do that a lot. Adapting to changes in your industry. To truly excel, you need to find a balance between leveraging your strengths in established systems and developing the flexibility to embrace innovation when necessary. That's very true, especially when I was getting my new job. That was kind of my leverage. I was already in an established system and I already knew what was already needed for me to know. So, that's kind of how I move from job to job. I learned for 2 years, I take that knowledge and I move to something else that's already established and I'm just adding to it, essentially. Care priorities will allow resistance to change, reluctant to self-promote. That's true, unless I'm doing an interview. Rigid rule follower, avoiding teamwork, possess of theories, difficulty delegating tasks. That's true. My web bro revolves around expanding your comfort zone. Yeah, that's true. I should try to do that. Well, me streaming is doing that. To be honest, this is something I don't typically do in my day-to-day, so it's been very nice. Of course. Relationships. Let me see, bro. Relationships, whether romantic, familial, or friendly, your loyalty and dependability shine through as your greatest strength. Aww. You approach your connections with the same sense of duty and commitment that you bring to other areas of your life, often becoming a steady rock for those around you. I remember that, bro. Your practical nature means you show love through actions rather than words. Somewhat right. I think through actions, very true. I typically like to do things for people to show that I care. But I've gotten better as I've matured to do it in words as well. Now, if I was speaking to somebody with my voice, it's kind of difficult to do it in words. But if I'm texting you or writing you something, I'm really good at expressing myself and how much I care about somebody. But anyway, consistently being there for your loved ones in what tangible, meaningful ways. I try with that one. Anyway, bro. However, your reserved nature and difficulty in expressing emotions, can sometimes create barriers in relationships. You may struggle to understand or respond to emotional needs of others. It do be happening sometimes. Potentially coming across as cold or unsupportive, even when you have the best intentions. That is true. I have matured since then, and I feel like in my last relationship, this was definitely me. With me and him, he was number one, more affectionate than I was, more emotional. Now, I'm emotional, yes, but like, when it comes to expressing said emotions, especially in a relationship, that's just something that I was not used to doing. So as I've matured, I've gotten much better at expressing my emotions, expressing how much. Of course, when his passing, it made me realize how much I would rarely do that. And I've gotten better, bro. To build deeper, more Feeling connections, work on opening up about your feelings. Yes, bro. And after listening to, yes, I am. I've been doing that, bro. Stability is important. Relationships also thrive on emotional intimacy and spontaneity. I don't know about that one. Expressing emotions, it is very hard. It can be very difficult, especially in relationships. I already have a hard time doing that, you know, just in my own personal life, just expressing my emotions. I'm so used to, like, not being listened to or whatever, or just, you know, oh, you're being dramatic, girl. You're too sensitive. Okay, well, I guess I just want to express my emotions. I'll just shut up, I guess. Because nobody wants to listen to me being dramatic, frick. So, it happens. Now I just really like self-regulate, but of course, when I'm in a relationship now, instead of just shutting down and closing myself off, you know, after my last one, I now know to express these things and be forthcoming and communicate how I feel, and be free to express those emotions, especially if they're difficult ones, you know? I think that was it. Thank the Lord. It's a long stream already, so I think we can. I did have like other fun quizzes, but this is a rather long stream. I think 3 hours is pretty good for, you know, for people to watch and learn a little bit more about me. Maybe we could do the fun quizzes next time, though, you know? I don't know how long that was gonna take. Frick. Sorry, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Hold on, give me a second. But yeah, if we have time, I'll be, no. If we have time next stream, maybe we can, yeah, had the burp. Said the buns are nice, bro. You've been seeing these for 5 ever, and you're now just seeing them? Frickin' Bozo. But yeah, bros, it is that time. Definitely want to go to sleep, have a good night's sleep. Because, well, I also am supposed to do my hair early in the morning. I do want to say thank you, for everyone that came to stop by and listen to me yap about my freaking life. So sorry it was long, but like I said, I mean, this was gonna be story time and personality test, so you know, yeah, we are gonna go to bed. But yeah, thank you both for listening to me. I hope you learned a little bit more about me, and I hope we can learn more about each other next time for sure. Maybe I'll have another just chatting stream where we just strictly take quizzes the entire time and learn more about each other. But let me say goodnight to all the bros that came through. So let's see. Good night, Wolvian. Good night, Silver. You're saying here I thought I heard most of your stories. Most of this stream was really, bro? Oh yeah, I haven't really talked about our King Katrina before. That one I did not talk about. But yeah, good night, Wolvian. Good night, Silver. Good night, Rose. Good night, Goat. Good night, Phantom. Good night, Vin. Good night, that's cheap. I'm sorry, I forgot your name. Good night, Miyamo. Good night, Nori. Good night, Sin. So sorry, I almost forgot to name. How could I, bro? Good night, Alia. Good night, Project. Good night, Iskuro. Good night, Kroby. I did see Kroby come in. Good night, Atlantis. Is new. Good night to Roland. That was a new one. He was asking for the music. I think that was everyone, bro. Good night to my, and of course, good night to my lickers and bod watchers. Thank you all for coming. I'll see you on Tuesday, hopefully. Have a good night. I see ya. I don't know. I'll see you when I see ya. I should have a stream though, you know? Good night, bro. Oh, bro, I'm never gonna talk this long again. Oh, my lord. The longest stream of my life. Thank you for being with me. So nice, bros.